Ohayou gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight, from the Zozo Marine Stadium, we are calling the game between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Chiba Lotte Marines. And so before we begin this one, we are going to give you the starting lineups. First of all, from the visitors from Fukuoka. Leading off and playing second base, wearing number 68, is Masaki Momori. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 6, is Kenta Imamiya. Batting third and doing the designated hitting, wearing number 9, is Yuki Yanagita. In the cleanup spot and playing in left field, wearing number 27, is Yorizabel Graciel. Batting fifth and playing first base, wearing number 7, is Akira Nakamura. Batting sixth and playing third base, wearing number 3, is Freddie Galvis. In the seventh spot and playing center field, wearing number 51, is Seiji Ubiyashi. Batting eighth and in right field, wearing number 32, is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. And batting ninth and doing the catching, wearing number 19, is Takuya Kai. And they are going to be facing Manabu Mima. Mima last year for the Marines, he was 6-7. He threw 115 and a third innings. He gave up 139 hits, 72 runs, 63 of which were earned. He walked 32 and struck out 92, and he pitched to a tune of a 4.92 earned run average. And now the starting lineup for the home team from Chiba. The Marines will begin by leading off with Akito Takabe. He wears number 38 and will play left field. Batting second and in right field, wearing number 79, is Leonis Martin. Batting third, wearing number 8, is Shogo Nakamura, and he's going to play second base. In the cleanup spot, doing the designated hitting, number 54, Brandon Laird. Batting fifth and playing first base, wearing number 2, is Toshiya Sato. Batting in the sixth spot in center field, wearing number 25, is Hiromi Oka. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, getting the start tonight, wearing number 55, is Edney Hechavarria. Batting eighth and doing the catching, wearing number 2, is Ko Matsukawa. And batting ninth and making his NPB debut, wearing 00, and getting the nod at third base, is Raito Ikeda. And they are going to be facing Tomohisa Ozeki. Ozeki last year appeared in 12 games. He pitched 23 innings. He gave up 12 hits, 6 runs, all earned. He walked 10 and struck out 13 and had a 2.35 earned run average. Those are your starting lineups tonight for the ball game, everybody. We are glad you could be with us, whether you're listening live or on delay. We appreciate you tuning in to Last Drafts Baseball. We will be back in just a couple moments with the call of the ball game, but we'll be back after this. A few musical tunes. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Chiba versus the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are one of two teams that have begun the season undefeated. They are 5-0. Chiba is 1-4. And of course, this is kind of the getaway game, a mid-afternoon affair that we're going to see in Chiba. The 4 minutes away from the starting of the first pitch. Last night, a couple of things that were of note from around the NPB. Item number one from this game, in the ninth inning, there was a collision in left field between the center fielder Seiji Ubiashi and Ryoya Kurihara. Kurihara left the game on a stretcher, grasping toward his knee. We do not have an update at this time on the status of Kurihara, but he is not in the starting lineup tonight. And so that is a big loss, as he was arguably off to the best start of any Hawk offensively entering last night's game. And that'll be a tough loss for him. Also, around the league, it's the first time that Hiroshi Fujimoto, he's got his team off to a 5-0 start. It's the third most consecutive wins from opening day that a first-year manager has been able to do it. But you have to go back all the way to 1979 since the last time that occurred. And so Fujimoto is behind the bench right now. Sho Nakata played his 1,500th game last night for the Yomiuri Giants. He's the 199th player in NPB history to reach that mark. And he was doing it against the Swallows back when he played for the Hokkaido nippon-ham Fighters way back in 2009. And so the Central League standings and the Pacific League standings, they look exactly similar through 5 games. In the Central League, the Hiroshima Carp are 5-0. The Yomiuri Giants are 4-1. The Cult Swallows are 3-2. The Yokohama Dana Bay Stars are 2-3. The Chinichi Dragons are 1-4. And the Hanshin Tigers, who got off to an absolutely outstanding start last year, are 0-5 out of the gates this season. Pacific League, of course, the Hawks are 5-0. The Lions are 4-1. The Tohoku Rocket Golden Eagles are 3-1, and the Chiba Lotte Marines are 1-3. They, of course, had a game rained out. They're the only teams that have played one less game. And then the Oryx Buffaloes, the defending champions, have started off 1-4, and the Hokkaido nippon-ham Fighters, kind of as expected, are 0-5. They're off to a difficult start this year. So those are the news and notes from around the NPB. The starting pitcher, Manabu Mima, is now running out to the mound. He's ready to get his warm-up tosses in. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the Chiba Lotte Marines and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. We're glad you guys could be with us tonight. Stick around. We'll be right back after these tunes. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch is just moments away as the right-hander Manabu Mima is completing his warm-up tosses. The top of the order is going to be Masaki Memori, Kenta Imamiya, and Yuki Yanagita. They'll be facing the Chiba right-hander. Last night, we had a very festive crowd here. We had as many as most probably that we've had in a long time. We had about 26 viewers in on the game, and we appreciate those who came in to listen and for those who will come back. So thank you for that. It was a real festive group. We had a lot of, what I like to say, the gamblers were in the house last night. So they like to talk about the odds and the different things. And so we do get engaged a little bit with that. I can't give you gambling advice per se always because, that's not what our job is. We're reporting on the game. But definitely, I think tonight, if I had to say one way or the other, I think this is Chiba's night tonight. And I think that they have the best opportunity. So for those of you who come in and listen to this later, we'll find out at the end of the game. So here we go. Leading it off is Masaki Memori. He's hitting .316 on the season. He's 6 for 19. He's got no homers, a couple RBIs, and a stolen base. And the first pitch delivered to him is a ball inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Memori. Momori hits from the left side. Mima is a right-hander. He's got kind of what I call a pseudo stretch, and there's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is quickly now 2-0. Chuck Tries is back in the house. He says he's in because we're awesome at the commentary. Well, we appreciate you, Chuck. And we got Troy in the house. What's up to you as well? Mima has a very interesting way in which he gets onto the rubber. He has his hands over his head as he engages to the rubber, and then he brings it to his waist and then comes set. And there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away down the first base line, and the count is 2-1. It almost looks like he's leading a yoga class with the way that he gets onto the pitching rubber. But I wonder if he expends maybe a little too much energy in doing it, but whatever is going to help him throw strikes. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Mima kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to the leadoff hitter, Momori. It's a nice day in Chiba. It is a bit cloudy. They are calling for rain to come later in the day. We should be able to get this one in without any type of rain, one would think. And there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And the count is now 3-2. So Troy asks tonight, which team is the better pitcher? Well, I would have to say that Mima would get the edge on that one. I do think, though, the thing to keep in note is the back end of the ball game, and I'll get to that in a second. Here's the pitch from Mima. It's a fastball that misses inside, and Momori has drawn himself a leadoff walk to start the ball game, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. So the reason for that is, Troy, you say, which one's the better pitcher tonight? I think more importantly is the back end of the bullpen. Last night, Mori closed the game, and Levon Moinello pitched the 8th inning. The night before, the closer and the setup man did the same thing. Traditionally speaking, a lot of managers don't like to use their closer 3 days in a row, especially early in the season. Same thing with the 8th inning guy. So I think it could be a challenge tonight for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks to close out this game, even if they have a lead late. They're maybe putting some pitchers on the mound who don't normally close. So I hope that kind of answers your question. So I have a tendency to lean tonight a little bit more toward Chiba. So here's the first pitch to Imamiya. It's bunted. It's fielded by Mima. He flips it to first, and Kenta Imamiya is retired on a sacrifice. He's going to go down sacrifice bunt. 1-3 for the first out of the inning. That advances Momori over to second, and that's going to bring up the 3-hole hitter, Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita is off to a slow start so far this year. He's batting 150. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. Last night's ball game, Yanagita got the start. He was on base twice. He was 1 for 4, and he had himself a walk. But he's 3 for 20 on the young campaign. Mima checks the runner, Momori at second, and there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And the count is quickly no balls and 1 strike to Yanagita. I made some comments earlier in the yesterday's game and so on and so forth, and we look at players that are projectable players that could have come or could be in Major League Baseball. And Yuki Yanagita, in my opinion, would have been one of those type of players. There's a changeup that misses down, and the count is 1-1. I think he's a very classy player, but he's now starting to become in the not twilight of his career, but on the back end of his career. He's on the wrong side of 30. So I think that in his case, his window may have closed coming across, but he's been a superstar in Japan and as a well-respected player. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanagita. Mima holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's tap foul over beyond first base. And that's going to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. But when you watch Yanagita play, the way he swings the bat, the way that he is able to run, the way that he's able to play defense, he would have been a real solid prospect or a potential prospect to come to North America to continue his game. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mima gets this sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. It's a split-finger pitch. It's down. Yanagita checks his swing. They appeal down to third. The third base umpire says he didn't go, and that's going to even the count at 2-2. The crowd tonight is not as busy tonight as it seemed it was last night for the fans of the Marines. Last night's crowd was a decent crowd, a festive crowd, but I would say today they'd be lucky to get 20,000 fans in the stands from what we could see right now. And Mima steps off the rubber, and he looks at the base runner back to second base. Edney Hechavarria, who's getting the start tonight at shortstop for the Marines, is really jockeying with Mamori at second base. If anything, a base hit might be able to keep him from scoring if they can keep him close. Hechavarria is between the base runner and the base. Here's the pitch to Yanagita. It's swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded by Nakamura. He throws to first. That is going to retire the batter Yanagita on a ground out, 4-3 for out number 2, but it is going to advance Mamori to third. And that is going to leave it all up to the cleanup hitter, Yerizabel Graciel. Troy asked the question, how do I think that Seiya Suzuki will fare in the MLB? And it's been a topic of conversation in our streams, as some folks have asked. First off, let me say, I don't think that he is available to be able to do it. LaFleur TV is in the house. I'll answer his question in a minute after I get through the Seiya Suzuki question. So the way it works is this, I think Suzuki's probably behind Hideki Matsui. There's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed by Graciel, and the count is 0-1. So LaFleur TV, to answer your question, there were fellas in here last night that were directing people to Reddit, and the Reddit NPB. You could get yourself a list of links of where to find it. I don't know where you're at. As we mentioned last night, DAZN in the United States was carrying it last year, but there were people that were in here in the chat last night saying that it looks like they're not carrying the feed. So depending upon where you're located will dictate where you have it accessible. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count's 1-1. A couple years ago, I believe it was ABC or NBC used to carry the games in Hawaii, but they stopped carrying the games. And then it was also, they would carry it in Japanese. But if you have a VPN, or if you're from Japan, or you can also, I guess, understand, at least they were showing the games on Yahoo this year. There's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. And the count is 1-2 to Graciel. So that's the best I can do for you. As far as the question to Troy is concerned, back to Suzuki, I think he fits in behind Hideki Matsui. So I think he's going to hit 25 to 30 bombs in Chicago. I think he's going to drive in 85 to 95 runs if he can stay healthy. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Graciel. Mima comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. Mima jumps up and down. He wanted that called third strike, but he's not going to get it, and that count is going to be run to 2-2. Graciel has started the season off hitting .263 with no homers and 3 runs batted in. And he's looking to add to his RBI total here with the runner Mamori on third and 2 away. So Mima gets the sign from his catcher, and here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped slowly over to third. It's fielded by Akita. He throws to first, and that is going to end the inning. It goes down as a ground out, 5-3 for out number 3. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in their half of the first inning, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. The score at the end of a half inning is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 0. The Chiba Lotte Marines coming to bat. Stick it out, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the bottom of the first inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Here's our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, Matt Hollis. After the game, be sure to check out Another Hollis Build. He's a supporter of our channel, and in return, we like to support Matt. That's Another Hollis Build after the game for all the crazy stuff that he talks about from his area of San Diego. We've got the top of the order coming up for the Marines. It'll be here in the first inning to face Ozeki. It'll be Aikido Takabe, Leonis Martin, and Shogo Nakamura to get things going. As we mentioned before, the left-hander here, Ozeki, last year appeared in 12 games, pitching 23 innings. He allowed 12 hits, 6 runs all earned, 10 walks, 13 Ks, and had an ERA of 2.35. I'll try to answer everybody's questions as I go along here. We got Ruben Hogan asked the question, who's the best pitcher in this league? I mean, that's always up for debate, but if I had to give an answer, I would say Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Oryx Buffaloes. He's my guy. There's a first pitch fastball from the lefty Ozeki that is taken for a called strike by Takabe. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Takabe hitting a $167 on the season to begin. He takes a breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike, and quickly the count is 0-2. So that's the easy answer for Ruben Hogan, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The other thing is how do I think he would fare in the big leagues? I think right now, today, he would fare quite well. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. Moving to his right and diving is the second baseman Mamori. As he gets up, he's got no play to get the speedy Takabe. And that is going to go down as an infield hit. Nice play by the second baseman, but he was ranged well over to his left, had to go deep behind the base at second. Just to get there to stop the ball was well done, but unfortunately he was not able to get up and make the play. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Leonis Martin. Leonis Martin is struggling to get things going. He is looking for his first hit of the season. And he's got a tough matchup facing the lefty here tonight. Lefty matchup. He is 0 for 13. It's reminiscent of the 2020 season when Justin Bohr, the former big leaguer, went over to the Hanshin Tigers and he started the season 0 for 16. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Ray P says, is this the Leonis Martin that was in the big leagues? Yes, it was. He'd spent time with the Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, Detroit Tigers, Cleveland Indians organizations. And he is extending his career in Japan. So here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away on the third base side of home plate. Leonis Martin, when he was with the Tigers, got dealt to the Indians, and it was for a minor leaguer. And the minor leaguer who is with the Tigers right now was Willie Castro. And Martin went to the Indians, and he wasn't there long, and he ended up with some sort of infection, a blood infection. And he was in hospital in critical condition, where he almost lost his life, unfortunately. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Mamori picks it up. He throws to second for 1, back to first. It's not in time as Martin was able to leg it out. That's going to go down as a 4-6 fielder's choice to retire Takabe at second. And Martin now is the runner at first with Shogo Nakamura coming to the plate. So just to carry on with a couple of other questions from above as I'm inching it down. Bob asked the question, this is great, man. How are you watching this? Expat in Japan. Well, I don't usually disclose it over the net here. I know a lot of people come in and will ask about how to acquire links or where is the link for the game. Reddit, NPB, if you go through there, there were some people in here last night. I know Alexander Leggett is one of those guys who, if he comes into the chat tonight, will be able to help you out, as some other ones are. There's a first pitch fastball from Ozeki that misses off the outside corner to Nakamura, and the count is 1-0. So Nakamura is batting .278. He's got no homers and 3 runs batted in. He also has a couple of stolen bases on the early season. So Ozeki gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. He comes set at the belt. He checks the runner at first. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. Freddie Galvis makes the play over to second for one. Back to first, and it is a Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk double play. That's a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning here for Chiba. So a little bit of hard luck for the Marines in their half of the first. So for the Marines, they had no runs. There was 1 hit. There were no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 1 complete. In Chiba, it is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing, the Chiba Lotte Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes for the call of the top of the second inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Here are some of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up to bat for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That means it's Akira Nakamura, Freddie Galvis, and Seiji Yubiashi to get things going in the top of the second inning. It is a sparse crowd today in the matinee or afternoon affair that is going on in Chiba. There's a lot of empty seats, a lot of school children in attendance or school-age children in attendance today. It is blustery winds. They are calling for rain later on today in the Chiba area, but we expect this one to be played in its entirety. So back to Bob. Bob says how other ways to link. So another way is Yahoo Japan was playing the games for free on their site. So possibly if you do have a VPN, I'm not sure if I know they did the weekend series. I'm not sure where they stand right now with some of this, but Yahoo Japan was carrying stuff. So hope that gives you some leads. So now the first baseman, Akira Nakamura, steps up with his .455 average. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. He takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Last night, the 2 pitchers in the ball game worked very, very quickly. Tonight, not so much. This pitcher here, Mima, and his counterpart, Ozeki, are very slow and deliberate. So that last pitch to Nakamura was a ball, and here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball that misses low and in. And the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, those who are able to find the link, what a lot of people do is sometimes the game is called in Japanese, and so we get a lot of people that link up our call to the other one as well. And we have a stoppage in the play as the home plate umpire has come out to the mound, and there's something that the pitcher Mima was wearing that they have to take away from him. It looked like maybe his necklace had broken. And so he's going to have to carry on without the Lucky Charms. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. So Ziggs HD asked the question. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-1. Why did the Marines take out the reliever who was pitching well and let the other guy blow the game by walking the yard? Well, that's a question you'd have to ask the manager, because the pitcher that they had in there in relief got 2 of the 3 outs, and then they went to the bullpen, and then it was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 consecutive walks in a row from Suzuki that basically gifted the game to the Hawks. There's a fastball to Nakamura that catches the outside corner and is now 3-2 to Nakamura. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mima ready to deliver, and there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the second inning is going to start like the first inning did with a leadoff walk. So Mima having a little bit of command issues with his pitches here in the early going. So Troy is a Tiger fan by the looks of it. Ray P says he's not too familiar with baseball. Anyone considered the Mike Trout of the league? Of course, maybe the better question is who was considered the Shohei Ohtani now of Japanese baseball? I don't know if there's anybody particular. But up steps the switch hitting Freddie Galvis. Galvis is hitting .222 on the early season. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. This is Galvis's first foray into Japanese baseball. He has signed a 2-year, $6 million deal, and he takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. As I cycle through the questions, Troy says, are you in Japan or the USA? We're neither. We are north of the border of you guys. So here comes the 1-strike pitch, and it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And Freddie Galvis has watched the count go to 0-2. So Plaxi asked the question, do you think the pitchers will keep this under a lot of runs today? This is a tough call. If they have to go to the bullpens early, I'm not sure that the Fukuoka bullpen has their A guys tonight. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-2. As we said at the top of the stream, the last 2 nights, the Hawks used Mainello in the 8th and Mori in the 9th. And usually those are their 8th and their 9th inning guys. They're their best guys. But typically early in the season, managers won't use those guys 3 days in a row. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs to Galvis. They appeal down to the third base umpire, but the umpire said he didn't go, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Samantha Bonzani is in here and asked the question. There is a fastball swung on. This ball is yanked foul well down the right field line. Galvis absolutely turned on that one, but he crushed it foul. So where can I use a site to find the lineups, pitching matchups for the day of the games and handicap these games? It's a great question, Samantha. So typically speaking, in the Japanese league, unlike in North America, they really don't release the starting lineup of the players until approximately an hour or less than an hour before the game. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed by Galvis. He is retired for the first out of the inning here for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Seiji Ubiashi. For Ubiashi on the young season, he is hitting .333, but he's only 1 for 3. And he's got himself no homers, no RBIs, but he does have a stolen base. So that's the first challenge. The first challenge is not knowing the lineup until about 45 minutes prior to the game. The second challenge as well, Samantha, is that the pitching matchups, unlike in Major League Baseball, where sometimes you get 3, 4, 5, 6 days ahead, they don't officially make the announcement until after the game or early the next morning for the NPB. So you can get those right off of the NPB website. And the website is in Japanese, but you have an English conversion option. And that first pitch fastball to Ubiashi is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 to Ubiashi. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ruben Hogan says, how many players in the Japanese league have aspirations of going to the MLB? So here comes the 2-0 pitch to Ubiashi. Mima kicks and delivers. There's a ball off the outside corner, and it counts 3-0. It's a good thing we have a lot of people asking questions tonight, because as I do this game, the pitcher Mima here takes a lot of time between pitches, and in doing that, it provides me a lot of opportunity to answer some of these questions. I would think there's a lot of players at this point in time that want to come across. It was, I believe, Hideo Nomo, when he had first come across, there was a lot of static about him going. There's a fastball delivered from Mima, taken for a call strike, and the count is now 3-1 to Ubiashi. Ubiashi came into the game late as a defensive replacement, and of course, he was involved with that collision last night with the left fielder, the young left fielder Kurihara, who had to be stretchered off. As we mentioned, Kurihara is not in the lineup tonight, and we do not have any updates on the condition of his knee injury. And there's a fastball that is swung on it, is lifted into shallow left field. Edney Hechavarria racing back. He sticks the glove up and makes the catch. So Hechavarria still showing the range that he had when he had played in Major League Baseball. That is going to retire Ubiashi for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to Tetsuro Yanagamachi. For Yanagamachi, he's making his NPB season debut. He got the nod in right field tonight. As we mentioned, the starting outfielder last night, Kurihara, went down with that, we assume it is a knee injury. He was clutching his knee after the collision. And to me, it looked like it was Ubiashi's ball all the way. And so there was a bit of insult or injury added to the insult. And Mima throws over to first base, and diving back in time is Nakamura. So as I slowly cycle through the comments, so Plaxi says this should be the game to win. I agree with that. Alexander Leggett is in the house. We were just talking about you earlier, Alexander. We appreciate you being here. We mentioned that he is somebody that if you're looking for some tips through Reddit on how to get to the game, he was helping us out last night by mentioning it in the chat. And there's a first pitch fastball to Yanagamachi taken inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. As I said, I have a little bit of a challenge keeping up with everybody, but we're here for free. Troy says still says top of the first. I'll make that correction after the half inning here. You're right. Taking too much time talking to the chat. It is the top of the second inning. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. And the count now is even at 1-1. Yanagamachi is a left-handed hitter. There are quite a bit of left-handed hitters tonight in the Fukuoka lineup. Of course, with Freddie Galvis being a switch hitter, gives them a weapon on both sides of the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mima kicks and delivers, and it is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, we have quite the gambling crowd that comes in. It's always fun sometimes. During the week, we get some people. Nash is in the house as well tonight. Welcome back, Nash. John Savage here. Brian Brooks, too, as well. So Edney Hechavarria was definitely a Blue Jay prospect. 2 balls and 1 strike, and there's a fastball that misses up and away. I remember a number of years ago, I was involved in a scouting session with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, and they were really high on Hechavarria. He was still in their organization at the time. They hadn't traded him. They said when he was an A-ball, he had a major league glove and a high school bat. And that is absolutely true. It's not really improved so much. It's sort of flattened out. But he has had some clutch hits in his career, and there is a breaking ball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. And that is going to retire Yanagamachi. Oh, that's actually going to bring the count to 3-2. We had a little mess up on the scorecard there, and the umpire was ringing him up for strike 3. I've seen that a couple of times where the home plate umpire comes up with the right hand and starts to do the chainsaw. And the next thing you know is the hitter's there with 3-2, and I've got to double check my look. Now, here's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. Ranging to his left is Hechavarria. He dives. He stops the ball, but he's unable to be able to make a play anywhere. And Yanagamachi is going to be awarded with an infield single. It was a nice play by Hechavarria to even get to the ball, but he had no shot at anybody anywhere, and so Yanagamachi is aboard with a base hit. And that's going to bring up Takuya Kai. So we've got 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the second inning. Alexander Leggett says he thinks Toronto pays more attention to the Asian clubs than most. I think more recently that would be the case. I have to admit, I don't know who the Toronto scouts are in Asia. I know a couple of organizations in the National League West, they're Pacific Rim guys. And here comes the first pitch to Kai. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. For years, it seemed like the Boston Red Sox had a presence in Asia. Ray says, I applaud you for staying up late to call Japanese games you know nothing about, but yet he's likes betting on teams he knows nothing about. So here's the 1 ball, no strikes, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Kai is the 9-hole hitter in the Fukuoka batting order. He is struggling to get off to a good start, but he is an outstanding receiver. There is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over on the first base side. The count is 1-2. Alexander Leggett asked the question, you ever play out of the park baseball? And the answer to that is no. He says they do a decent job of updating the NPB. There is a link I can give. I know somebody asked earlier in the stream tonight about, like a score line. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can actually go to the NPB site. They do run the box score on their site. It's a little bit more of a challenge. I don't think they do it necessarily in real time. It's not quite like Major League Baseball. Here's the 1-2 to Kai, and he takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate for a called third strike. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it for Fukuoka in their half of the second inning. There were no runs. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're through 1.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, nothing. The Chiba Lotte Marines, nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the bottom of the second inning. Here's another one of our Did You Knows. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the second inning. It is going to be the heart of the Chiba batting order coming to bat. That means it's Brandon Laird, Toshiya Sato, and Hiromi Oka to face the left-hander Tomohisa Ozeki. And so as I've been keeping up with the chat tonight, sometimes I apologize to you. It's a little bit, not laggard, but Nash asked the question, how good was Shun Yamaguchi in the NPB? He was pretty good. He was with the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars, and then he was with the Yomiuri Giants, and he came to the Blue Jays after time with Yomiuri. And I saw quite a few of the Blue Jay games, and there were times that he pitched really, really well. And then when he was really bad, boy, did he stink it up. And he just couldn't get it going in Toronto, and they basically just outrighted him. And he signed on with the San Francisco Giants, and he couldn't even get out of spring training with the Giants the following year. And, of course, now he's found his way back to Japan. But in the Japanese league, he fared quite well. He was a bit of a workhorse. Now, in some fairness, he was kind of at the twilight or at the back end of his career. And sometimes you see that with pitchers in Japan that will come across. And I've had an opportunity. I don't want to say what organization but I have a friend of mine who works for one of the organizations, and he was saying, I asked him about Japanese pitchers, and one of the things they look for is they're looking for guys to be relievers, be 7th or 8th inning guys who could come in, they can bring in. He feels that particular organization has the best success. There's a fastball delivered to Brandon Laird that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. We got Kevin Woollock in the house, Colton Cordoba, welcome. There's a fastball that misses outside to Laird, and the count goes to 1-1. Brandon Laird batting .200 on this early season. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. He stands in against the left-hander Ozeki, and he swings and misses at a fastball up around the eyeballs, and the count is 1-2. So 1-2 to Laird. Laird had a bit of a slow start to last season as well, but once he got it going, both he and Leonis Martin really carried the Marines. There's a breaking ball down in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2-2. Ozeki ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers, and there is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Laird is retired for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring out the first baseman, Toshiya Sato. Alexander Leggett says, yeah, you can't send the links over the chat. And we've given some information on how to get it. So here we go back to the live action. Ozeki facing Sato, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1-0 to Sato. Sato batting .231 in the early campaign with no homers and 1 RBI. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2-0. One thing that you do notice about the Japanese league is that the managers really don't hesitate keeping left-handers out of the lineup when a lefty is on the mound. And there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count now goes to 2-1. You see a lot of lefty-lefty matchups. They're not necessarily playing chess like they do in North America, where they're mixing and matching the lineups. Their lefties are facing lefties, righties are facing righties. They'll even pinch hit lefties to face lefties if they feel it gives them a better chance. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now evened up at 2-2. John Savage asks, what team is batting? We are in the bottom of the second, John. So if you look at the scroll going across the bottom of the screen, the Hawks on the left are the visitors. The Marines on the right are the home team, and we're in the bottom of the second. So that will give you an indication of that it's the home team batting, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field. This ball is going to get down in front of the left fielder Graciel, and Sato is aboard with a base hit single. That's the second hit of the game for the Marines. In the last inning, Takabe was erased on a fielder's choice. That brings up the center fielder, Hiromi Oka. Oka tonight is batting .133. He's got no homers and no RBIs, but he does have a couple of stolen bases. This toward John Savage. No big deal, John. It's great to ask the question. I try to keep up with everybody in the chat. It's sometimes difficult. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Oka. Oka on the season is batting .133. No homers, no RBIs, but he does have a couple of stolen bases. Yesterday, he had a ball go under his glove in center field that ended up costing the Marines a run early in the game. Of course, it was a one-run ball game. It could have been the difference maker, and there was a fastball that misses up. The count is 1-1. Definitely the one run would have scored, but the second run that came around was Freddie Galvis in yesterday's game, and it was an opportunity that they had to possibly get that out. So here comes the 1-1 to Oka. Ozeki holds at the belt. He checks the runners multiple times, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-2. Alexander Leggett says he checked, didn't see any Tyler Austin cards lying around. I do, but I don't think they're in Japanese. I don't have anything in Japan stuff right now. I do have some of the stuff from North America back to 2017, but I would assume you're probably looking for something in Japan. And there's a fastball taken on the inside corner, and Oka has gone down on strikes. That was a little bit harsh for where the umpire has been calling the balls and strikes tonight. That pitch was a little bit more than belt high on the inside corner of the plate. The catcher, to his credit, Takuya Kai, does a good job of receiving that ball to be able to get his pitcher the strike. But that is going to retire Oka for the second out of the inning. Nash says, I like the way that you interact with the chat, answer questions, makes it more entertaining. Well, we appreciate it. Sometimes I have to try to be able to mix it in both ways. So here's Edney Hechavarria stepping to the plate. Hechavarria is batting .200 on the young season. He's got no homers, RBIs, and he swings and misses at a first pitch fastball. And he's no balls and 1 strike. That .200 is 1 for 5 in the early going. That's pretty much about on pace. Whether Hechavarria is playing in the major leagues or he's playing in the NPB, that's pretty much what you can expect him to be at. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away over on the first base side. And the count is now 0-2. Hechavarria last year in the playoffs hit a very clutch home run. Came in as a pinch hitter, and I believe it was against the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And he absolutely scorched it to help win that game. It was probably one of the biggest hits of his career, whether it be on this side of the Pacific side of the ocean in Japan or on North America. So no balls and 2 strikes to Hechavarria. The runner at first is Sato. There is 2 away here in the last half of the second inning. Ozeki gets the sign from his catcher, Kai, and he's ready to go back to work. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Hechavarria. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 1-2. Alexander Leggett says it's hard to get good news on the NPB site. It is true. One place that you guys might want to look at is we talk about Reddit and the NPB. Go take a look at Reddit NPB on Twitter. And there's a flip over to first base. And getting back easily is Sato standing up. The fellow who runs it is a Tokyo Yakult Swallows fan. And he posts a lot of good stuff every day. There was a lady that was in here earlier asking for some insight. So that might be able to help you. So Hechavarria has a 1-2 count. Sato is the runner on first. And Ozeki kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving over to his right is Ubiyashi. And he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Hechavarria for the third out of the inning. So for the Marines in their half of the second, there was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 2 complete innings. It's the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 0 and the Chiba Lotte Marines 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the top of the third inning after this. We're glad you could stop in with us tonight. Here's another one of our Japanese Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We're cruising to the top of the third inning, and it's going to be the top part of the Fukuoka batting order coming up to face the pitcher Manabu Mima of the Marines. And that means it's going to be Masaki Momori, Kenta Imamiya, and Yuki Yanagita to get things going. A few things that people were asking or mentioning. One of the things that Nash said, that there are some American journalists on Twitter. There are a couple guys. There used to be somebody, his last name was Allen, who was working for a paper in Tokyo, I believe it was. And he does some coverage online, and he's able to do some update stuff. I don't really tune into his stuff much. I cross paths with it once in a while, but he does have some insightful stuff. So Memori steps to the plate. He is officially 0 for 0. He walked his first time up, and he takes a breaking ball inside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Memori gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded through the 4-hole into right field, and Memori is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 3rd inning. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. If I'm the Marines, it's a bit of a concern. Each inning, the leadoff hitter has found his way on base. Memori, of course, walked to begin the ball game. Nakamura walked to begin the 2nd, and now Memori has singled to start the 3rd. You're playing with fire when you put the leadoff runners on. So Kenta Imamiya strides to the plate. He is 6 for 18 on the season, batting .333, but what he is known for is the sacrifice bunt, the all-time Pacific League leader, and he is already squaring the bunt as he steps into the batter's box. So Imamiya's squaring the bunt. He's ready to go. And he drops the bunt down. It's straight back to the pitcher. It's a good one, though. As the base runner is advanced to second base, Memori moves over to second. Imamiya picks up his 2nd sacrifice bunt of the game. It is 1-3 on the putout. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Yuki Yangida. As I say, I'm just taking a quick peek at the chat as we move along. Sometimes it gets by me. So Yuki Yanagita steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to second his first time up. He's now 3 for 21 on the season. His average has slipped to 143. Mima looks at the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. It's a great day for baseball, and especially for those of you who have jumped in here to listen to our coverage of the Hawks and the Marines. We're in the top of the 3rd inning with Yuki Yanagita at the plate. There is a split finger pitch that misses down and in, and the count is 1-1. Alexander, after the game, if you're interested, I can throw a wrench onto your account, so to speak. That way there you can do some moderating if you choose to do so. The likelihood is we will not be back on the air tomorrow night, but we will call games North American time on the Friday and Saturday evening. We'll post our schedule up usually Friday afternoon once I get a chance to see who is pitching in the matchup and what will work best for us. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Yankita. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Mima, as we said, every time he steps onto the rubber, he takes hands over his head and then brings it down to the waist, and then he comes set. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded to the right side of the infield. It's going to get past the diving second baseman, Nakamura, and coming around to score is going to be Memori, and that is going to open the scoring as Yuki Yanagita has an RBI single, and the score is now 1-0 for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Nash says Friday has a lot of early games, which is nice. Not so much tomorrow. 50-50 on tomorrow. It really depends on what happens. And James Butler in the house tonight. We appreciate you being here. So the runner at first is Yanagita, and Eurizabel Graciel strides to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up, and he takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. On the season, Graciel is 5 for 20. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. He's batting a cool .250 in the early going, and Mima flips over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Yanagita. So no balls and 1 strike. Mima gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Graciel is now behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes to Graciel. Mima ready to go. He comes set at the belt, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that's well off the plate. A good pitch. He actually hit his spot. It's not a bad pitch or a waste pitch, as that ball was about 4 or 5 inches off the dish. There is a good site for statistics, and somebody had asked earlier, said, hey, do you have something that I can follow the game along in the stream? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the box score. If you don't have this, this is actually really good to help follow along. There you go. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I would argue and say that could be the best English box score for the NPB. There's a breaking ball that is down in the dirt. It was a good block by the catcher. Well, that's going to even the count to 2-2 on Graciel. Catcher Matsukawa, who is getting the start tonight, has had to do a little bit of work, especially in blocking the ball. So hopefully that works out for you guys in terms of the batting lineup in which to be able to follow. It gives you some updates. It's sometimes a little behind. Same thing, it may be 2-3 batters behind. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball. This ball is swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving over toward the foul line is Leonis Martin. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it, as Graciel has flown out for out number 2 of the inning. And that is going to leave it all up to Akira Nakamura. The wind is really blowing hard from left field to right field. The flags are almost straight out. They're absolutely stiff. I remember years ago at old Tiger Stadium, sometimes the corner of Michigan and Trumbull in downtown Detroit, you could see the flags, and they would be blowing where they were basically stuck straight out. Nash asked the question, where does the name Last Raps come from? And there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Nakamura. So in the Midwest, we used to have a saying, the team who hits last has last raps. And some of the way that you would do it is you would flip the bat, and you would take your hands up the bat, and the one who gets to the top of the knob of the bat got to choose if they wanted to hit first or if they wanted to have last raps. And the pitcher, Mima, throws over to first base. And diving back in time is the base runner, Yanagita. So when you have last raps, it also means that you were the home team. And we always like to say that last raps baseball, you're always at home. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So that kind of give you the thoughts of how that came from. So 2 balls and no strikes. It's still not quite warm enough. The temperature today at game time was just below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count is 2-1. When we first started the business a number of years ago, which would be 2009, we had a pretty funny situation where people didn't know that it was Last Wraps. We kept asking us if it was LA Straps. We were all laughing. LA Straps sounds like a different kind of business. There's a fastball delivered, it swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Nakamura. Nakamura walked his first time up, but he's been on fire this year, hitting .455 in the early season. So here we go back to the action again. Mima comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 3-2. And to put it in perspective, Mima is already up to 61 pitches here in the third inning. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. When Mima goes to the plate, the runner Yanagita will be on the move, as there's 2 away here in the top of the third inning. The Hawks have cashed in with 1 run here already. There's a fastball swung on, and it is fouled away over on the third base side. And the count still remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura. Should he reach base, Freddie Galvis is waiting his turn on deck. So here comes the 3-2 pitch from right-hander Mima. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line. It lands. It stays fair. It gets by the left fielder. Rounding third and trying to score is the base runner Yanagita, and he's going to make it in safely. And like that, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are now up 2-0 on the double from Nakamura. So Yanagita comes across to score. That ball was basically flared down the left field line. It landed in fair territory, but it had so much English on the ball, it spun off and kicked over to the wall. The left fielder Takabe had to race over to get it, and Yanagita was able to score all the way from first base. And that improves the scoreline to 2-0. One would think that based on this start for Mima, he's not going to be here long. I'd be surprised if we saw Mima after the 5th inning, the way his pitch count's ratcheting up. Mind you, in Japanese baseball, 100 pitches, sometimes the pitchers are just getting loose because they do extend them a lot more than we see in North America. So that brings up Freddie Galvis, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. And here's the first pitch to Galvis. It's a split finger pitch in the dirt, a really nice block by Matsukawa. And the count is quickly 1-0. Nakamura is off to a fantastic start this season. Obviously on base tonight twice. He was .455 entering play tonight at the plate. Really swinging a hot stick. He's a big reason why the Hawks are undefeated at this point. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. Mima checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mima gets the side from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. And there's a split finger pitch waved at and missed. And Galvis really looked sick on that pitch. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freddie Galvis. To get a full major league pension, you have to have 10 years of service time. And basically, with about a half a season in MLB, he could have got that. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and that runs the count even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Possibly we're still here. We're definitely here for sure. I'm not sure if it's the signal that's moving in and out. I hope we don't lose yous. And there is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Galvis is retired for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, they come up big with 2 runs. There were 2 runs in the inning to go with 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 2.5. It is Fukuoka 2, Chiba nothing. I'll check around and see if there's anything going on with our internet feed. Stick around with us, everybody. We'll still be here. Appreciate you for letting me know. Hang tight. We'll be back in a second after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be giving you the bottom of the 3rd in just a second. Hold tight. We'll be back after these tunes, and so I can get a drink and carry on with everybody here. We appreciate you being here tonight. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming to bat for Chiba. That means it's going to be Ko, Matsukawa, Raito, Ikeda, and Kido Takabe. That is the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. And Matsukawa steps in at the plate, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken down for a ball 1. Matsukawa is 2 for 8 on the young season. He's hitting .250. He's got nothing on his slash line. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-1. Alexander Leggett said a man got him a coffee because I said we ran out. That's perfect. Gotta like that. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Matsukawa. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away to the first base side of home plate, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matsukawa getting the start behind the plate tonight. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside. Last night it was Tomoya Kakanuma who got the start, and then they put Toshiya Sato behind the dish as he moved over from first base to go back behind the plate. So they've used 3 catchers in 2 days. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. Somebody had said earlier that they were asking if why there is a lack of home runs or not as many home runs. And one of the things that I've noticed this year is, you're right, there doesn't seem to be the rampant pace of home runs in the Japanese league. There was a scandal a number of years ago where the baseballs in Japan were juiced, and the NPB commissioner actually had to resign. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 3-0. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. And there was a big scandal because some of the numbers were just outrageous. And typically speaking, it's the North American players or the Latin players that they bring in to hit the home runs. And there was a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the right field line into the stands, and that's going to keep the count full at 3-2. So when you think of the American players, or I should say just American, the Latin players, or even in some cases the European players, because Vladimir Ballantyne, who played in the NPB and represented the Dutch, had a very long career there. So here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Matsukawa goes down on strikes. He is the third Marine retired via the strikeout tonight. And so there's 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Raito Ikeda. So I was interested to see Raito Ikeda. This is his NPB debut tonight. He made a play already at third base, but Ikeda is going to be his first at bat. He got the nod to start at third tonight. Ikeda is a right-handed stick. He wears 00, and there's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Ikeda bats from the right side. He has his hands extended away from his body with an open stance. He waggles the bat, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to deep right field, and it is going to be caught as the right fielder, Tatsuro Yanagamachi, slams into the wall. So how about that for your first at bat in the NPB? And what a phenomenal defensive play by Yanagamachi to take a hit away from the rookie Ikeda. Absolutely blistered. That ball, if it was hit another 6 more feet, that might have left the yard. But Yanagamachi on the run, leaps, slams into the wall at full speed and makes the grab. And there is now 2 away here in the bottom half of the third inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Akito Takabe. And the first pitch to Takabe is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Takabe tonight is 1 for 1. He singled to lead off the ball game. There's a fastball delivered. It's slowly tapped to first, and the first baseman Nakamura applies the tag, and that is going to do it. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for the third out of the inning. So there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 3 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Chiba Lotte Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment with the call of the top of the 4th inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in about 20 seconds with the call of the top of the 4th inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Here's some tunes to keep you happy while we're away. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising now to the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up to face Manabu Mima. That means it's going to be Seiji Ubayashi, Tatsuro Yanagamachi, and Takuya Kai. So 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. Ubayashi tonight is 0 for 1. He popped to short his first time up. He's now 1 for 4 on the early season. And the first pitch from Mima is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Fielded neatly by Nakamura. He flips it to first, and on one pitch, that's one away. On a ground out, 4-3 for out number 1. So 1-0, one up and one away, and that brings up the right fielder Tatsuro Yanagamachi. Yanagamachi, of course, in the last inning made that outstanding catch to take a hit away from the youngster Raito Ikeda. For Yanagamachi, he is 1 for 1 tonight. This is his season debut. And the first pitch delivered to him is a fastball that's swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Nash asked a question earlier in the chat. He said, why is it that Japanese batting stances haven't been as transferable to Major League Baseball? And I'd like to address that a little bit, at least my thoughts and opinions. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away on the third base side, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Something that you notice with not just the Japanese hitters, but the Asian hitters in general. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-2. Something that you notice is, or something I notice, they're very handsy. In other words, you'll see that they do an excellent job of getting bat to ball. Their bat to ball skills are off the charts. And there is a fastball that misses down. And so I guess the question is, what does that have to do with the stance? Well, when you think about it, they're able to slap the ball. They're really able to make contact. I think of games lost in the United States, North America, Latin America, where we used to play pepper a lot. Pepper used to be a game played by the kids, and it was, you can throw the ball, but not just the kids, the pros would do it too. And there's a fastball delivered to Yanagamachi, and it's fouled off over on the third base side. And the count is going to remain at 2-2. But in North America, they really have focused in different areas. They're looking for quote unquote launch angle. They're looking for putting balls into the seats. And there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Yanagamachi is gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up Takuya Kai. So Takuya Kai tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. He has struggled to begin the season. And here comes the first pitch from Mima. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But really, Kai isn't here for his bat. He is here for his glove. He's 1 for 12 on the early season with no homers and 1 RBI. There's a fastball swung on, and it is fouled off behind home plate, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kai. Mima ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch swung on. It's grounded to third, and Ikeda has booted it. So just as Ikeda had the first hit taken away from him in the last inning, he has booted a routine grounder here to third. So welcome to the NPB, young fella. You missed out on your first hit, but you picked up your first error. And Kai is aboard on the E5, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. Momori tonight is 1 for 1 and a walk. He singled and scored a run his last time up on the RBI hit by Yanagita. Momori off to a decent start this year. Entered the game hitting .316. And they're concerned about Kai. They flip it over to first base, and diving back goes the base runner. One would think in this situation, I might be concerned about Kai too. If Kai steals the base, he's in scoring position. If Kai gets thrown out, you got your top of the order coming up next inning. There's a breaking ball delivered, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So this is with a 2-run lead. This is an opportunity potentially for Kai to run, and especially on an 0-1 pitch right now. It's not necessarily a fastball count. This might be a good pitch to take off and go. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1. So much for my thought on an off-speed pitch. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mamori gets himself dug back in. He's ready to go to battle again against Mamori. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frankie A says he's got 500 on the Hawks. Is that 500 pesos or 500 rubles or 500 corona or dollars? It's all good, Frankie. We appreciate you being in here. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that just misses down from Mima, and the count is now 2-0. Check that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Frankie A says it's dollars, my friend. Excellent job, Frankie. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Raymond Burnett says cash, and cash it is for sure. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mamori. And here comes the pitch from Mima. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and the count is going to remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brianna Kennedy says, need a run in the 4th. How we looking? Not too good right now. You've got a runner at 1st and 2 away. So if you want a runner from the Hawks in the 4th or a run from the Hawks in the 4th, it might be a challenge to get. But the third baseman, Ikeda, did his part by booting the ball that would have ended the inning. So here comes the 2-2 pitch to Mamori, and again they throw over to first, and again diving back is the base runner Kai. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kai. You've been ready to go back to work. Right-hander against the left-hander. They're setting up inside, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball, and it's left a little bit too much over the plate, but it's fouled off on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. Just to finish off on that topic about not just the stances, but also the style. You've got a lot of hitters in the Japanese league. They like that flamingo stance. They also, the body weight really rushes forward. And, it just becomes philosophy. It would be really interesting to sit down with some of the Japanese hitting coaches and see what their rationale or their reason is for, some of that movement. I don't like a lot of movement with the hitters. I like guys with the compact swings. I like the guys who are real quiet that become explosive. But sometimes they really load up and they really start to lunge toward the ball. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is bounced to short. It's flipped over to second. And that is going to retire the Hawks in their half of the 4th. That's going to go down as a fielder's choice. 6-4 to end the inning. So for the Hawks in their half of the 4th inning, there was no runs. There were no hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 3.5. It is Fukuoka 2, Chiba nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. After the game, be sure to check out Steve. And in fact, if you don't mind, maybe drop over to Steve's site. Let him know Last Drafts Baseball sent you. And give him some gears about something. He always likes to take a ribbing. Here's Steve Rademacher.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day. And there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate you and your support of our channel. And in return, we like to support Steve. That's Steve Rademacher. And be sure to check him out. Make sure Last Drafts Baseball, you let him know sent you. And make sure you leave him something that will make him laugh on one of his comments, because he is quite the character. He's got all kinds of crazy and weird things on his channel. So here we are back to the live action, and it's going to be the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the Chiba batting order coming up to face the left-hander Ozeki. And it is Leonis Martin, Shogo Nakamura, and Brandon Laird. So Leonis Martin tonight is 0 for 1. He is still looking for his first hit of the season. He is 0 for 14 to begin the campaign. So here is Ozeki ready to deliver. He rocks into motion, and there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Ozeki ready to go and back to work. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. That's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely obliterated. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it is going to hook foul, and that is going to make the count 0-2 now to Leonis Martin. He put that one into orbit, but he was absolutely way out in front of it. He did a great job of keeping his hands inside on that fastball and just turned on that pitch, but just hooked it foul. So here comes the 0-2 pitch from Ozeki. And there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Alexander says that Martin is suffering from some bad variance. Yeah, he's certainly off to a bit of a struggle. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-2. And, quite fairly, in the couple of games I've watched here, it's not like he hasn't hit the ball hard. He's put the ball in play, and he has struck the ball hard, and he's had some foul balls that just haven't gone his way. He hit one last night that just went foul down the right field line by inches. So here's the 2-2 pitch. And there is a breaking ball swung on, and it's tapped foul right at the plate. The catcher, Takuya Kai, ends up going down onto all fours as it hit him right on the top of his right foot. That's the second time tonight Kai has been struck by a foul ball. He got one in the right shoulder earlier, and now he's got one off the right foot. I say the catcher's position is like the tools of ignorance. Certainly Kai has that. So here comes the 2-2, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left center field. It's going to get down. And that is going to be a single for Leonis Martin. So he's going to open up his account for the 2022 season with that first hit. He is now 1 for 14. So Ray P asked the question. Somebody asked the question earlier. He says, what inning are they in and who's the home team? So if you look at the meter scrolling across the bottom, you will see it says Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, Chiba Lotte Marines nothing. Bottom 4th. The home team is always on the right. The road team is always on the left. So that would give you the idea of where we're at there. So Fukuoka 2, Chiba nothing. And there you go. So I hope that answers your question, Ray. So Shogo Nakamura steps up to the plate. He is officially 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play his first time up. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakamura is 5 for 19 to start the year. He's batting .263 now with no homers and 3 RBIs. He's got himself a couple of stolen bases early on. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ozeki delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2 to Nakamura. Left-hander Ozeki has really pitched well tonight. He's only thrown 46 pitches so far in his 3+ innings of work. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Nakamura. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's tapped foul over on the third base side. And the count is going to remain at 0-2. Well, Zeki is really dealing. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, when people were asking, who do I think is going to win tonight? If you ask my prediction, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, my prediction was the Marines. And the reason for that is that the back end of the bullpen, Levon Mainello and Mori pitched the last two nights. There's a fastball delivered to Nakamura, and this time it's fouled off on the first base side. And the count remains still at 0-2. So typically speaking, managers early in the season, and for that matter, even in the middle of the season, don't usually like to use their closer 3 days running, and certainly their setup guy 3 days running. So my expectation would be is that you're not going to get their top guys out of the bullpen tonight to seal off a win if the game is close. So we'll see how they manage it. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Moving over to his right is the right fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and he's going to make the catch. A nice running catch by Yanagamachi in right field. That's 2 plays in 2 innings where he has made a nice play. Last inning was the spectacular play to take the hit away from Akita. And now this time to take the potential hit away from Nakamura. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Brandon Laird. Colton says, I feel like you don't like giving out picks. I just like to hear what everybody is on. I don't spend much time with the gambling thing, but I like to look and maybe make some odd predictions here and there, or the odd prediction, maybe not odd. And here comes the first pitch to Laird. It's a fastball swung on. It is tapped to third. It's fielded by Galvis. Over to second for 1. Back to first, and it is a Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk double play. It's the second one of the ball game for them. That's going to go down as a ground out. 5-4-3 for outs number 2 and 3 here in the 4th inning. So for Chiba in their half of the 4th, there was no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 4 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks to the Chiba Lotte Marines. Nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the top of the 5th inning. We're glad you could be here.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. That's Matt Hollis and another Hollis build. Make sure you jump on to his site when you get a chance. Let him know Last Drafts Baseball sent you over there. If you give him a sub, that's great. If not, let him know. If you're not a San Diego Padre fan, what you think of the Padres, because that's his hometown team. I know what I think of the Padres, but I'm not going to say that here because they do have the best seafood burritos at the ballpark. That's the best thing I can say about the Padres. Take that for what it's worth. Frankie Ace says, Last Drafts Baseball, I was not too much into the gambling either, but with the amount we spend watching and stats and facts, we might as well be. Yeah, Frankie A, possibly. I did want to get back to something that Frankie had brought up earlier. He was talking about Kosuke Fukudome, who had played with the Cubs, and he said he enjoyed watching him hit. And you're right, Fukudome had some really good years. And he had some really, really good years with the Cubs. And so here comes the first pitch of the inning. It is a fastball delivered to Kenta Imamiya, and he swings and fouls it away, but the bat went further than the ball, and it's going to have to be retrieved by the third base coach. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. That is why Kenta Imamiya is officially 0 for 0 tonight. He has 2 sacrifice bunts to his name, but he can't sacrifice with nobody on here. Otherwise, he'd be sacrificing into his own out. So Imamiya, Yanagita, and Graciel, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to face Mima. Mima is at 85 pitches through 4 innings. He's been a bit of an escape artist tonight. He's been in trouble almost every inning. And there is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Last inning was probably his cleanest inning. Only the error by the third baseman, Akita, had got him in a little trouble, and there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2 to Imamiya. And while you're looking him up, Fukuoka even was still playing in the NPB even last year. I'm not sure if he's under contract again, but he was even playing a little bit last year in the NPB, and he's like in his mid-40s. And there is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded to third. It's fielded neatly by the third baseman, Akita. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Imamiya on a ground out, 5-3 for out number 1. Yeah, he's playing in the NPB. He was up until last year. Old man Fukuoka. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Yuki Yanagita. And the first pitch delivered to Yanagita is a fastball, swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Yanagita is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and an RBI, and he's also grounded to second. Mima delivers a fastball that misses on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. They are playing Yanagita to pull. The shortstop, Hechevarria, is close to the bag at second base. And there is a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not only was Fukuoka playing, but Daisuke Matsuzaka was still rostered last year as well. But in the offseason, he has hung it up. And there is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Yanagita goes down on strikes for the second out here in the 4th. Maybe it only took 85 pitches to Mima to get going. But now he is starting to find his groove, and that's going to bring up Yurizabel Graciel. For Graciel, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to third, and he is flown out to right field. And there is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Fukuoka, definitely a legend. Getting a chance to play. There is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-0. I wonder if Alexander Leggett has looked them up yet. He said he was going to go over and check them out. Fukuoka with the Cubs. Yeah, Chinichi Dragons. There's a couple of teams that when we call games, which is Chinichi is one of them. I don't do many the Dragon games. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded back to the pitcher. It's fielded by Mima. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Graciel on a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning. I'll hold that thought. So for the Hawks, is the first time they've gone down 1-2-3. So maybe we see Mima again now that he's in a groove in the 6th. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 4.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Chiba Lotte Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. I'll be back in just a moment. We're glad you are here with us. Here's another one of our Did You Knows. This time about Zealous Wheeler. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be cruising now to the bottom 5th inning. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming to bat for Chiba. It means it's going to be Toshiya Sato, Hiromi Oka, and Edney Hechevarria. They are going to be still facing the lefty Tomohisa Ozeki. As I mentioned earlier, this for me does not seem like it would be one of those evenings that you would be seeing a pitcher's duel per se. I would not have maybe predicted this at the outset. And I'm kind of curious to see if they are going to take Mima out or if they're going to leave him in. The pitching coach had went over to talk to him, and sometimes that's a sign of you're done for the night. But Mima in particularly has retired, well, indirectly 7 in a row. There was the batter that did get on base via the air, but bounced the fielder's chase. So he's actually retired 7 of the last 8 batters he's faced. So here comes Toshiya Sato. He is singled his first time up. He is 4 for 14 now on the season. He's batting .286. So left-hander against the left-hander. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses up, and the count is quickly 1-0. Alexander Leggett says that's why they can't get any runs. Their batters are old enough to get cataracts. That might be true. So 1 ball and no strikes. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Frankie A said that he was never really interested in the NPB. I have to say, and this is an honest answer to this, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The quality of the athlete in the Japanese league compared to the MLB is no comparison. There's an import cap on the players in Japan. You can only have a certain number of players playing at one time. And so that leads to obviously good development for Japanese players. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in on it is the left fielder Graciel, who makes the grab, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Hiromi Oka. Oka is batting .133 with no homers and no RBIs entering the game. He struck out looking his first time up. So just back to my thoughts on the Japanese players, that the Japanese players are sometimes physically undersized. They're a little bit overmatched in some ways. Not all, of course. You have the exceptions in Otani and different players. But I really like the way the game is played. There's not all the home runs. There's more hit and runs. There's more bunts. There's more sacrifices. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1 to Oka. So the game in some ways is a little bit more pure. Though the thing that Major League Baseball, I think, would make the game more entertaining is if they actually move the fences back a little bit, cut down on the home runs. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gucciari says, next draw on innings prediction. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. Alexander Leggett says, I would say the fundamentals of Japanese players are great. You see less mistakes. That's right. Absolutely. They play a much better fundamentally sound game, and I would even say that they play a smarter game. Their base running on aggregate is better. There's a fastball that misses up and away to Oka, and the count now goes to 3-2. Nash asked the question about why Asian players coming to MLB that are a little bit older. That's, to me, exactly what it was, 100%. And there's a breaking ball that is taken for a called third strike, and that's the second time tonight that Oka has stood like the house by the side of the road. And watch that pitch go by. He is retired for out number 2, and that is going to leave it up to Edney Hechavarria. So it's not so much all Asian players specifically, but certainly the Japanese players, 100%. Troy says, Comerica Park is very vast at 420 to center. Well, Troy, if you have been to Comerica, I'm not sure how old you are, but I spent a lot of time at Old Tiger Stadium, and Old Tiger Stadium used to be 440 to straightaway center field. There's the first pitch to Hechavarria. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is smoked to left field. It's got the legs, and it is gone. A home run for Edney Hechavarria. He has broken the ice. That is the first run of the ball game for the Marines. They have cut into the lead at 2-1. But that ball was a frozen rope. But what was even better was the bat flip. Edney Hechavarria does not hit a lot of home runs. But that one there, if you get a chance, maybe after the game on Instagram, sometimes they'll show the highlights. And you'll get the Instagram from the Marines account, but that bat flip was A+. So Hechavarria cuts the lead in half, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Ko Matsukawa. Yeah, that's right. With 2 outs, they were able to get that run. Yeah, that bat flip made Jose Bautista's bat flip in the playoffs a few years ago look sort of bush league. This, or maybe not bush league, but sort of amateurish. That had full elevation. So here we go. Here's the hitter, Matsukawa, and the first pitch to him is a fastball swung on. It's popped up to the right side of the infield. And moving over underneath it is the second baseman, Maori. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it here for the 5th inning. But the Chiba Lotte Marines get a run back. There was no runs on one hit. There was one run on one hit, the homer by Hechavarria. There were no errors and nobody left on base. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll give you the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard, as all the other NPB games are later. And we'll be back after this. We appreciate you guys being here, listening in tonight. Here's another one of our Did You Knows. This one is our last time. This is the last time we're going to play this one. This is former Oryx Buffalo, who is now retired, who was in the NPB last year, Adam Jones. But we're not going to run this one anymore after tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate y'all for being here tonight, and we're going to give you the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard. We do have a football score. Alexander Leggett says he can't wait for opening day with the Nationals. Based on today's performance, I think I can wait. The St. Louis Cardinals took on the Washington Nationals today and absolutely laid a beatdown on them. The final score, and this is not a misprint, was the Cardinals 29, the Nationals 8. Cardinals had 29 runs on 26 hits today. Miles Mikolas gets the win, his second win. And Miles Mikolas had a nice rebound of his career with the Yomiuri Giants as he's bounced back to Major League Baseball. Anibal Sanchez takes the loss. His ERA got fluffed up to 14.21 on the spring. That was the final score there. The Detroit Tigers knocked off the Philadelphia Phillies today, 7-1. Tariq Skubal picked up the win, his first of the spring. Gibson took the loss. He drops to 0-1. The Baltimore Orioles knocked off the Tampa Bay Rays 7-6. It looks like I do pretty good with the names, but it looks like Craybill got the win for the Orioles. Ogano took the loss for the Rays. Sorry for butchering his name, but I've never seen that name before, so that was my best attempt. Rogers got the win. He goes to 2-0. Bryce Wilson the loss as the Twins beat the Pirates today 9-4. The Boston Red Sox knocked off the Braves 10-7. Tanner Houck gets the win. He evens his record to 1-1 on the spring. Ian Anderson takes the loss. His ERA gets fluffed up to 10.8. Strom picked up the save. The Cincinnati Reds lost to the Athletics 5-4 today. Irvin got the win. Gutierrez the loss for Cincinnati, and Jimenez got the save for the A's. Chicago Cubs beat the Seattle Mariners today 8-5. It was Gazelman, the former Met, getting the win for the Cubs. Marco Gonzalez took the loss. Lee Brandt got the save for the Cubs. I'm interested to see if he's related to old Charlie Lee Brandt. And then we've got the Giants knocking off the Royals 9-5. And then it was DeScalafini with the win, Hernandez the loss. The other scores across the out-of-town scoreboard, the White Sox beat the Rangers 7-0. The D-backs knocked off the Rockies 9-2. Padres beat the Brewers 4-2. Astros 5-3-10 over the Mets. The Blue Jays thumped the Yankees 11-3, and the Dodgers beat the Guardians 12-1. We're ready to almost resume the action. There is a pitching change here for Chiba. They are going to the bullpen. Mima's day is complete. And ironically, His best innings were the fourth and the fifth inning, but he is finished for the evening. They have a right-hander coming in. This is Fumiya Ono, and he is taking over here in relief. So Ono is getting called upon to try to close this one, or to at least keep this one in a position where the Marines can come back and then maybe close it out. So remember, at the top of the stream, my prediction was that the Marines were going to win this one. We're going to have to wait and see how this goes. Nash says, I never knew that Adam Jones went to the NPB. Yeah, he was over there for a couple of years. In fact, when I was in Japan, it broke that he had signed over there. It was a big deal. And of course, it was a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option. But to be fair, I saw Jones play last year, and it was really a shell of his former self. They had him playing first base, and they had him, once in a while in the outfield and DHing, but his productivity had really, really fallen off. And when you think about it, he was actually drafted as a shortstop, I believe by the Seattle Mariner organization, because that's where he was traded from. So here we go. The live action's back underway. It's Akira Nakamura at the plate, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So Ono is in the ball game, pitching to Nakamura, and there's another fastball delivered for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Nakamura tonight is 1 for 1. He has doubled and knocked in a run, and he's also walked. He's pulled his batting average up to 500 as he's 6 for 12 on the season. There's a split finger pitch from Ono that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. Interesting. Colton says when Fernando Tatis was injured in the minors, he got his autograph while he was doing therapy, and there is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Ironically, I bet you the Chicago White Sox wish they had Fernando Tatis Jr. back. Although Tim Anderson is a very good shortstop, no offense to Tim Anderson, he is no Fernando Tatis Jr. And if I'm not mistaken, was it James Shields that came the other way? I have to go back and look that up. There's a fastball that is swung on. This is grounded through the 6-hole past the glove of the third baseman, Akita. And Nakamura is aboard with a single. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Freddie Galvis. For Freddie Galvis, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both times to the plate. I'm curious to see if they're going to take the bat out of his hands and try to nickel and dime it here. Nakamura is the runner at first, and on fire he is. So Galvis is 4 for 20 on the season. Ono gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted down the left field line, but it looks like it's going to reach the seats. The count is quickly 0-1. Raymond Burnett asks, are the Hawks at bat? Yes, they are. It's the top of the 6th inning. Hopefully I don't cut out on you here. We may have a minor technical difficulty. So we'll see if we can keep this baby alive here. We've run into some minor difficulties, but we'll see if we can continue on. There's Ono. We've got it solved, so we're back in business. So no balls and 1 strike. Ono gets ready to go back to work. The runner at first, Nakamura, establishes his lead. Ono holds at the belt, and he kicks and delivers to Galvis, and that ball is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. And the count now goes to 0-2 to Galvis. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's nobody out here, and the leadoff runner, Nakamura, is aboard here in the 6th inning. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Galvis. Ono holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Freddie Galvis now has a hat trick of strikeouts. or should I say the sombrero. That's his third time tonight he is down on strikes, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, Seiji Ubiyashi. I am pretty curious to see how Galvis is going to fare here in the Japanese League. I say that because he is an interesting player to watch. I like Freddie Galvis. When he was a Philly, also with the Blue Jays, he spent time with the Reds and the Orioles. Nash says Freddie wants the golden sombrero. I guess we're going to have to see if he makes it up another time. And here's a first pitch delivered to Ibuyashi. It's swung on, and it's hit down the right field line, and it's just going to land foul. That ball was scorched. The count is quickly 0-1. For all those fans out there who like the Marines, they're probably biting their nails. This is Ono has not been particularly sharp, and some of the balls that have been struck have been fouled off, have been hit hard. And of course, Nakamura had the single to lead the inning off. So there's a split finger pitch down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-1. Be curious to see how the manager Iguchi is going to manage his pitching staff here. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Ubiyashi. Ubiyashi tonight is 0 for 2. Ono gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the third baseline, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We appreciate everybody being in here tonight. We thank you all for your comments and your participation in the chat. Glad I could keep up with everybody, or most everybody. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ono comes set at the belt, and instead he throws over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner Nakamura. Hopefully we can see you guys again this weekend. As I said, we may take tomorrow off because there is just such a later game that we have here. It's going to be a little bit later start. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that ball is swung on. It's tap foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2 to Ubiyashi. The games would be going at about 5 o'clock Eastern time, 2 a.m. Pacific time. It might be a little bit of a struggle for us to be able to keep up with that, but we are going to call games on Friday on the Pacific Coast and Saturday on the Pacific Coast. 10 o'clock starts. Those games will be announced on Friday, North American time. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And Ono delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. And the count now goes to 2-2. Why Not is in the house. And while you're looking at the screen, why not? Just look at the line score that's running across the bottom. It'll give you the update of the score and the inning that we're in. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ono again throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Nakamura. Should Ubiyashi find a way on base here, it's Tetsuro Yanagamachi coming up, who is waiting in the on-deck circle. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses well off the plate, and now the count runs full. Be interesting to see if they're going to put the runner in motion here. Nakamura runs fairly well, but to try to stave off a double play, sometimes at 3-2 with 1 out, they will put the runner in motion. So Why Not is asking the question, who's up to bat? We're in the top of the 6th. Fukuoka is batting. If you look at the line score from left to right, the visiting team is on the left, the home team is on the right. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The sun is trying to peek out a little bit here in Chiba. They said that probably around 6 o'clock local time is when the rain would start to move in. There's been quite a bit of wind. There's still wind around. The flags in center field are still pretty much straight out, blowing from left to right. There's another foul ball that Yubihashi has fouled straight back to the backstop, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a little bit brisk in terms of temperature. Game time, it was about 59 degrees, but the wind makes it a little blustery. The pitchers sometimes are blowing on their hands. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Ono delivers. It's a fastball, swung on and missed. There goes the runner down to second. The throw is in time as Hechevarria applies the tag, and that is out number 3. So a strike him out, throw him out is going to end the inning here in the top of the 6th. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in their half of the 6th inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left aboard. We're through 5.5. It is Fukuoka 2, Chiba 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments to give you the call of the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks for being here, everybody. Here's another one of our Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It is going to be a 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order coming up for Chiba, and that means it's going to be Raito Ikeda, Akito Takabe, and Leonis Martin. And that is 9-1-2 in the batting order. The question that Gucci Arari asks is, I have a 6th inning draw. How am I looking? Well, you're looking not bad. 9-1-2 coming up for Chiba. So if you can cut off the head and the body, you may be able to get the tail. And so they may be able to do it here for you. So we are here with Ikeda, who's making his NPB debut tonight. He is 0 for 1. He absolutely scorched the ball back in the 3rd inning. The right fielder for Fukuoka, Tatsuro Yanagamachi, made a beautiful catch on the run, slamming into the right field wall. And that is how he made his debut. And of course, Ikeda made an error tonight as well, along with a couple of nice defensive plays. So this is his first foray into the NPB. He's wearing 00. So he stands in at the plate, batting from the right side. So Ikeda, Takabe, and Martin here to get things going. Of course, the starting pitcher, Ozeki, is only on 62 pitches through 5. He is cruising right along. This is almost a bit unexpected. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. The Hawks are looking for another sweep, which would be back-to-back sweeps, and they could improve their record to 6-0 tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-0. So Nash asked the question, how is Adam Plutko doing in the KBO? To be honest, I really don't follow the KBO too much. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ozaki ready to go back to work, and there's a fastball that is taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count is 2-1. Plutko did go across to the KBO, but as I say, I haven't really dialed into what's happening there. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely blasted to left field. It's back on the warning track, but it is going to be hauled in by the left fielder, Graciel. And that's 2 at-bats that Ikeda has had allowed outs. The first time right to the wall in right field, this time to the warning track in left center. And that is the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the left fielder, Akito Takabe. And Nash says, I feel that the KBO is a lesser polished league. 100%. I mean, I apologize to any of the Korean listeners that are out there, but when the KBO was on ESPN, and as we get back to the action here, is the first pitch to Takabe. It's a breaking ball taken down and away. The count is 1-0. some of the top teams in the KBO were very, very good. Very good teams. And some of the middle teams, you would have guys that would be of a variety of caliber. And then you watch some of the lesser teams, and it almost looked like you had high school caliber players floating around in the outfield. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. Hayden Hetland says, who do you think will win this game? At the top of the stream, I would have said the Marines. And I'll still say the Marines. So the batter, Takabe, asks for time, and his time is granted. So 2 balls and no strikes to Takabe. There is 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Hawks have a 2-1 lead. But to take your question to another level, Hayland, why do I think that the Marines would win this game at the outset? And there's a fastball that misses outside. Count now goes to 3-0. So the reason I said that, Hayden, is because the last 2 nights, the Hawks have finished the game with Maury and with Moinello. There was a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. So your best closer and your best setup guy potentially are not going to be available tonight. Usually the managers don't like to use their arms out of the bullpen 3 days in a row, especially early in the season. There's a fastball that's taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the reason for that is obviously if you get into late in the game, you're going to be putting pitchers on the mound that maybe you don't trust or maybe you're not as convinced will be able to close it out. So that's what I'm thinking tonight. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 3-2. And Nash chimes in and says if he keeps pitching the way he is, they may not need to set up the guy. The closer may be on the mound right now. As Ozeki has pitched a wonderful ball game to this point, 72 pitches through 6 1/3 plus. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Takabe ready to go to dig in versus Ozeki. Ozeki kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. And Takabe is gone down looking for the 2nd out of the inning. And that's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Leonis Martin. There was a highlight, and I can't remember who it was from this week. I haven't seen a lot of ejections in the Japanese league very often. I believe it came out of the Central League where somebody got called out on strikes and they drew a line in the sand. You draw a line in the sand, that's pretty much an easy ejection for the umpire. And that's what had happened. He drew the line in the sand and the player got tossed. It was either, I'm pretty sure it might have been Chinichi. I'd have to go back and have a look. So here comes Leonis Martin. He got a base hit his last time up, breaking his 0-for-14 slump. And he swings at a first pitch fastball and he lines it into left field. That ball is going to get down for a base hit. And so Leonis Martin, who started the season 0-for-14, now has 2 consecutive base hit singles. He is now 2-for-16 on the season. So good swing by Martin. Gets him aboard with 2 out, and that's going to bring up the second baseman and the captain of the Marines, Shogo Nakamura. Again, we appreciate everybody stopping in here tonight. It's been a festive atmosphere back to back. Nash says that a Tigers legend, definitely not a Detroit Tigers legend, Leonis Martin. He can make you frustrated watching him play. But in that being said, I found him to be very entertaining playing in the Japanese league, and maybe because he's wherever else. And so we've got ourselves a situation here. There has been a balk. The pitcher stepped off the mound. They called the balk, and now the pitcher has thrown the ball into center field. The umpires are going to get together. The manager is coming out. So they called the balk. So as he called the balk, he stepped off the mound and then fired the ball into center field. As the ball went into center field, the base runner, Leonis Martin, has gone all the way around to third. And so we've got a confab going on here, and so they're going to make the adjustments. And because of the balk, You come out to talk to Ozeki and settle him down a little bit. We're getting the replay. So Ozeki comes up, he comes set. As he comes set, the runner, he looks over to first, and then he goes to step off. I can see why. He didn't break his hands. And then he throws the ball into center field. So as far as I know, that runner needs to be going back to second base. We're going to see what happens here. Maybe they've just left him over at third. I don't understand what the call is on that one. So we got Jay Lit UFC in the house. Watching on Twitch. If you're following us on our YouTube channel, there is a list of stuff in here. And so that is going to leave, they are going to leave Leonys Martin over at third. And I don't know if that's because the ball was still live as time hadn't been called. So Martin all the way around to third, and there's a fastball delivered to Nakamura for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. I know we have Jay Litt is watching on Twitch. So in the chat, in the YouTube channel, if you bounce over there, there's some instructions from some of the other watchers, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. And that'll at least guide it to you. We can't put the links into the chat here because that's going to get us in trouble. But there are some directions from a couple of the people earlier in the evening that can help you out. We are streaming the game both on Twitch and on YouTube. There are some people who are checking the game out on Twitch. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Nakamura. Ozeki holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left field, but it's going to get right to the left fielder, Gurriel. He's going to make the catch. That ball was struck very well. So for those of you who are looking for a sixth inning draw, you're going to be happy because that is the third out of the inning. There was no runs. There was the one hit by Leonys Martin. There were no errors and one runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Chiba Lotte Marines 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. The call at the top of the 7th inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Here is our friend Steve again, Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel. Let him know Last Drafts Baseball sent you. And leave him something on his page that will get his attention, whatever it is you like.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Drafts Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything. So we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Drafts Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and everything you do in support of our channel. And in return, we like to support Steve Rademacher. He is a Milwaukee Brewer fan at heart, but we don't hold that against him. Steve, we appreciate you and your support of our channel. We have a pitching change for Chiba. It is going to be Atsuya Hirohata on the mound. He is making his appearance as he's taking over for Fumiya Ono. For Fumiya Ono, it was a bit of a nail-biter 6th inning. And so now he is going to be facing the... Looks like we're going to have the 8-9 hitters in the batting order coming up. I just forgot to mark that Nakamura had been caught stealing last inning for our third out. So Seiji Ubiyashi steps up to the plate and he swings at the first offering he sees and hammers a ball down the left field line, but it's going to reach the seats. And the count is going to be no balls and 1 strike. So Yanagamachi today is 1 for 2. He's made 2 really nice plays in right field. This has been his season debut. He is 1 for 2 on the evening. He bats from the left side, and here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It's fielded by Hechavarria, and he throws to first, but it's not going to be in time. A great play by Hechavarria just to get to the ball. And so there is now going to be a base hit. So that's a base hit here for Yanagamachi. That's going to bring up Takuya Kai. So Hayden Hetland says there's no talk about links. He scrolled up. If you look for Alexander Leggett in the chat, he had given a number of pieces of information a couple innings back, and some folks were able to find it through the Reddit. So without having to be able to do that. So there is a Reddit NPB link that will give you a list of areas and links where you can find. And to be quite honest, depending upon where you're at globally, if you're in the States, if you're in other parts of Asia, there'll be different spots that you may be able to get that. So now it brings up to the plate Takuya Kai. Kai today is officially 0 for 2. He reached base the last time on an error by the third baseman Akita and struck out looking his first time up. Yanagamachi, the runner at first. Kai is already squaring to bunt here as they're looking to push Yanagamachi into scoring position. So Hirohata delivers. It's a breaking ball. It's bunted. It's fielded in foul territory by the catcher. It came up perfectly, and the catcher, Matsukawa, barehanded it. But that is going to be ruled a foul ball. Yeah, Frankie A's popped it in there as well. Usually what some of the folks are able to do is you can find some of that stuff depending upon where you're at. I can't give that to you, and I'm not going to give it through the stream. We don't want to get ourselves into trouble over here by doing that. We can give you the verbal. People can put certain things into the chat to help you out, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to do the look for it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Kai, and it is bunted, and it's a good one. It gets down. It's fielded by the pitcher, and he throws it over to first. Nice play by Hirohata to come off the mound to field it. That's going to be a sacrifice bunt. 1, 2, 3 to retire Kai. It's advancing Yanagamachi over to second. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. So Momori is officially 1 for 2 today. He's got a single. He bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has walked. So he has reached base twice. He is brought his average up to 333. He's 7 for 21 on the season. So there's one away and a runner on second base here in the top of the 7th inning. And there is a throw over to second. They tried to go backdoor on the base runner, but getting back easily is the base runner Yanagamachi. And just the other thing with regards to the links, sometimes what people do is they sync up our English feed because a lot of the links are in Japanese. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count now is 0-1 to Momori. I'm not sure Momori necessarily shared the same thoughts as the home plate umpire. So no balls and 1 strike. The shortstop Kenta Imamiya is waiting his turn on deck. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball delivered from Hirohata. It misses down and in, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We do appreciate everybody who has tuned in tonight for the call. We do enjoy giving you the play-by-play. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Hirohata delivers. It's a split finger pitch that's swung on and missed, and it screws Momori right into the ground. He was reaching out in front and turned himself into a corkscrew as he screws his way right into the left-handed batter's box. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Momori. Hirahata gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He's ready to go back to work. And again, they're jockeying with Yanagamachi at second base. The shortstop, Edney Hechavarria, is keeping him honest. Kind of the similar situation as it was in the 3rd inning when Momori scored when Yanagita was at the plate. Trying to keep him close because on a base hit to the outfield, they don't want him to score from second. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off over on the third base side. The count is 1-2. So the fellow who's watching on Twitch, somebody had posted it in the chat and said that they need a little bit of help finding it. And so one of the other listeners, Frankie Ace, said you can find the game live at QQ. So I'm not sure what QQ is, but that's where you can locate it. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to short. Hechavarria gets it, and he throws to first, and they say it's not going to be in time, that the runner is going to beat it out. We're going to have to get a look at that one. Hechavarria may have taken a little bit too extra long to get rid of the ball. The runner stayed at second base because the ball was hit in front of him. So I wonder if we're going to get a look at this on the replay. I wonder if they're going to take a look at the replay. The batter comes out of the box. Hechavarria gets it. He takes one little extra step too much, fires it to first, and I think they made the right call that he's safe. Alexander says that he had to work. Did he miss anything? Yeah, we got some folks that were asking about where they can watch the game online. I know you put it in the chat, but I was going to mention that we are doing the game on Twitch, so we gave some of the clues. We let them know that they can go check it out at QQ. Not sure where else we can give them. I'm not sure what the Reddit links were. So now they've got themselves into a pickle. Not sure how they're going to score that, if they're going to give Momori a base hit on that or not, because of the time it took Hechavarria to get rid of the ball. Jonathan Little is looking for a little bit of advice, but we'll give him a hit for now. So the runner at first is Momori. The runner at second is Yanagamachi, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. And Imamiya tonight is officially 0 for 1. He grounded to third his last time up, but he bounced into 2 sacrifice bunts. So I wouldn't be surprised here if we see Imamiya drop a bunt. It looks like we have a pinch runner in the game for Yanagamachi. And they do have a pinch runner in for Yanagamachi. It is number 30. And that's going to be Naoki Sato. So Naoki Sato has entered the game. And so the first pitch to Imamiya is a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0. I don't understand why you're wasting breaking balls to Imamiya. He's the guy that you want to swing the bat. He's a light-hitting shortstop who is a sacrifice bunt machine. He takes another breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. I'd be going after him with a fast pitch. Bring the heat to Imamiya. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Holding at the belt is Hirahata. He checks the runner at second. He delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Camping out underneath it is Leonis Martin. Here comes the throw. There goes the runner. He's tagging to go to third. The throw is not going to be in time, as the pinch runner Sato is able to get in underneath the tag. It was a good throw by the right fielder Leonis Martin. I don't know if he got behind the ball enough to get enough momentum But certainly he was able to make that play and made it close at third base. So a sacrifice there by Imamiya. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter tonight, Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita tonight is 1 for 3. He singled and knocked in a run in the third inning. He's also grounded out and struck out. So Yanagita stands in and they fire over to first base. This would be the time to keep an eye on the first and third defense. So here comes the pitch to Yanagita. Hirohito kicks and delivers. It's a fastball down in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher Matsukawa. It keeps the runner at first base. I think if maybe he got a better read, he could have taken off, and that would have been an adventure because do you throw down? Does the runner at third come home? So 1 ball and no strikes. So holding at the belt is Hirahata. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Nakamura picks it up on a couple of hops. He flips it over to first, and that is going to do it as Yanagita goes down on a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in their half of the seventh, no run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're through 6.5 in Chiba. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Chiba Lotte Marines 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Here's our friend Matt again. Be sure after the game to check out Matt Hollis and another Hollis build. He is a great friend of our channel, and in turn, we're a friend of his.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. That is Matt Hollis and Another Hollis Build. Make sure after the game, go check out his channel. As we say, he's a friend of ours and he supports us. And in turn, we like to support Matt. He is a San Diego native. He likes his animals. He likes his sports cards and he loves his city. Let him know that Last Raps Baseball sent you. All right, everybody, we're back for more action. It is going to be the bottom of the 7th inning and it'll be the heart of the Chiba batting order coming up to face the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and it's going to be Brandon Laird, Toshiya Sato, and Hiromi Oka. So 4, 5, and 6 in the Chiba batting order. And the pitcher for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, Tomohisa Ozeki, the left-hander who started in tonight's ballgame, is still on the mound, and we're ready to go back to work. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside to Brandon Laird for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. He's only at 77 pitches through 6 innings, so Ozeki is picked up the slack tonight for the Hawks. As we said, their bullpen, or their better part of their bullpen, is a bit deleted because they've pitched the last couple of nights. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Last night, Fukuoka used a number of pitchers after the starter Wada was chased. They used Fuji and Sonori and Moinello and Mori, and there was a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Moving over to his right is the right fielder, and it looks like it is now going to be the former Seiji Ubiashi has now moved from center to right. He's going to make that catch. That's going to retire Laird for the first out of the inning. They brought in Sato. I think Sato has moved into center field. I'll have to do a double check on that once the Yanagamachi has left the game. So I believe that it is Sato in center and Ubiashi now in right. And the first pitch is a fastball delivered to Sato, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Just a reminder, we're going to be on the air on the weekend again. We'll be posting it up on Friday, which games we'll cover. There's a strong likelihood we'll take tomorrow off. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. One of the questions I was asked the other night is, how do you come up with the games? Well, one of them is the time of the game would be ideal. And the second one is not just the time of the game, but also the pitching matchups also help in decisions on which ones we call. And we picked the Jewel tonight, only because it was by accident, because it was the early game. The last pitch to Sato was a breaking ball. It swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sato. Ozeki gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left field. It's going to get down in front of Graciel. And Sato is aboard with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Hiromi Oka. Looks like we may have a pinch runner for Sato as well. We'll have to get that for you in a moment. So Sato is going to end his night tonight 2 for 3 at the plate. A couple of hits for him. He's got 2 of the 6 Chiba hits. The pinch runner in the ball game for Sato is number 63. And that's going to be Kashiro Wada. So Wada in the pinch hit, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Oka. Oka tonight is 0 for 2. He has struck out looking both times to the plate. Ozeki holds at the belt, and now he throws over to first. So Wada is now the runner at first in the game for Sato. Curious to see if they make another change. The batter Oka holds the bat at his waist. There's one away here. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Oka will be followed by the shortstop Edney Hechavarria. And Hechavarria has accounted for all the offense tonight for the Marines as he homered his last time up. So if he's swinging a hot stick, it would be good for him to get to the plate with ducks on the pond. So here we go. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, but instead Ozeki throws over to first. Diving back in time is the base runner Wada. So Wada is the runner at first. He gets his lead. He's got 1 foot and almost 2 feet on the turf. It's a pretty healthy lead, and they throw over to first, and diving back in time barely is the base runner Wada. A real aggressive lead. And now it looks like they've called a balk. That's the second balk in as many innings by Ozeki. Wada is now over to second. The shortstop Imamiya is coming in, and Momori, the second baseman, to talk. We're going to take a look again here. And I'm curious to see where the balk was, or which of the umpires called the balk. We caught it on the replay, but we're unable to detect where that balk may have come in, and we've got a visit out to the mound. And that looks like it's going to be all it is for Ozeki. Are they going to be coming out to make a change? It looks like they are. They're going to be taking the ball out of the hand of the left-hander. And that's it. His night is done. So with one ball on Oka and the runner now in scoring position at second base with one away, they're going to the bullpen. And with that being said, we're going to take just a break here for a second, everybody. We'll come back with that change in just a moment. We're glad everybody is here. Hold tight, guys. We'll be back after this brief song, and we'll give you the change. Pitching change. Fukuoka going to the bullpen. Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks as the left-hander and starter Ozeki is done for the night. The base runner on second, Wada, is still his responsibility. He has gone 6 1/3 innings as they've made the pitching change, and he gets a lot of high fives from those in the dugout. He's done a great job tonight. And unfortunately, he is not in a position for... He's still in a position for the win, but he actually could take the loss as there is a count on Oka. So that batter is going to be his responsibility as well. We do have a new pitcher in the game. This is going to be number 11 for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. This is Yuki Samori. So Samori is coming into the ball game looking to prevent the tying run from scoring. Our friend Why Not says this is boring. Well, I got to admit, sometimes it's boring for me too. There's not a lot going on in the chat. So, we left the dancers at home tonight. So if anybody wants to send some video of some dancers, we're more than happy to put them up into the stream. Keep you guys entertained while we have pitching changes and other stuff going on. But that's the way she goes. So Yuki Samori into the ball game. He is taking over here as he completes his warm-up tosses. We're going to be getting this one back underway. Samori did pitch last night. He was used, although I said they used Fuji, Mainello, and Mara. The one Mori, I was thinking about more along the lines of Mainello, Mori, and I believe Fuji was also used 2 nights in a row. I have to go back and look at the numbers for him. So Samori coming in here with runner on second and one away. Couldn't get the exact... It was a balk that moved the runner over to second, but couldn't quite see why it was a balk. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-1. And not only this, but for Fukuoka, they have now run a pinch hitter up to the plate here. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We got changes galore. This is Koki Fukuda now pinch hitting. So he comes to bat with a ball on him. And here's the pitch to Fukuda. It's a fastball that is not hung on to by Kai, and the count goes to 2-1. So Fukuda pinch hitting here for Oka. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. The runner at second is Wada, who has come into the game as a pinch runner for Sato. So Fukuda batting from the left side. He holds his hands up high, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sanjay Raju says, who will win? If I knew who would win this game, I would also play the lottery on Friday night. If I knew those numbers, I would know that as well. But at the outset of this stream, my prediction was the Marines to win tonight, and I'm sticking to it. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter Fukuda. The right-hander Samori gets the sign. He delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. Freddie Galvis is running out. Graciel running in, and Graciel makes the catch in foul territory. And that is going to retire Fukuoka for out number 2. Yep, foul ball it was. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Edney Hechavarria. Why not says I'm wrong. SoftBank will win. All right. Maybe that's what it is. Troy asked the question, says, what MLB team are you a fan of? For me, it's Detroit. He used to go to about 20 Tiger games a year, or maybe sometimes even 10 to 15 Blue Jay games a year. So Edney Hechavarria steps to the plate with 2 out and a runner aboard. Hechavarria tonight is 1 for 2. He homered his last time up and flew out to center before that. So here we go. Here comes the pitch to Hechavarria. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the first base side, and that is going to quickly go to 0-1 to Hechavarria. Hechavarria has pulled his average up to 286. Of course, he is only 2 for 7 on the season now. Yeah, Troy says he's a Tigers fan too. Absolutely. Lean years, but the tide should change here in the next year or two with some of the prospects that are about ready to get into the big leagues. A couple of signings, and they'll be all good. So here we go. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 0-2. Alexander Leggett says his stream's way ahead. Yeah, we had a bit of a pause for about maybe 10 or 15 seconds. We got I don't know if I'm saying this right. Taha says he loves the Tigers. He's out here in Detroit as well. Gotta love it. I haven't been to many games at Comerica Park. Most of my games were at Old Tigers Stadium. I have been to Comerica. My plan is this year in August, I'm going to try to go see the Tigers and the Mariners and the Tigers and the Royals, that series at the end of August, Labor Day weekend. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. And it is kicked and delivered, and it's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back. Hechavarria keeps the count at 0-2. These days, it's more the Seattle Mariners that I get down to see. Of course, on the West Coast, so been to see the Dodgers, been to see the Padres. Got to get to the Bay Area. I haven't seen the A's or the Giants yet. So no balls and 2 strikes to Hechavarria. The pitcher, Samori, gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder, Sato, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. As Hechavarria is out, retired for out number 3 here in the 7th inning. They had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard for Chiba. We're now through 7 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Chiba Lotte Marines 1. Stick around with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 8th in just a couple moments. We appreciate y'all being here. We thank you for checking in tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 8th inning, and there is going to be a pitching change for the Chiba Lotte Marines. They are bringing in a right-hander, and we're going to get you his specs in just a moment. But it looks like it is going to be number 92, Yuki Kunavoshi, coming into the game. I don't know. Sorry, it's Kiniyoshi. My printer is there. I remember this guy from last year. And I have to go and look him up, but if I'm not mistaken, he was not originally a Chiba Lotte Marine. I believe he came from the Central League. And he can throw the ball hard, but he was predominantly wild. And I remember last year he appeared in the playoffs And I'm going to have to do a little research on him in my notes. But I definitely remember seeing him pitch last season. So Kuniyoshi in the ball game. Taking over, he is going to be the fourth pitcher of the ball game used by Chiba. He follows Mima, Ono, and Hirohata. So Yuki Kuniyoshi on the hill. One of his biggest challenges was to be able to throw strikes. So we'll see what happens. Troy says he actually played a couple games on the field that used to be Tiger Stadium. It's a beautiful facility that they have there now. If you get a chance to take a look, I've not actually been there to see it. I saw some of the construction. It's called the Corner Ballpark. So if you're wanting to do some Googling, go check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. Former teammate of mine used to be the head coach at Eastern Michigan. And he was involved in the Detroit Athletic League, or the Police Athletic League, I guess is what they call it, PAL. And anyways, it's a beautiful little structure. I don't know, other than high school games, what else they've got playing. They talked about maybe a college summer league team playing out of there, or maybe even Wayne State University. So here we go back to the live action as we've got Graciel stepping up to the plate, and here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back on it is the center fielder Wada, who has come into the game and is going to put Graciel away for out number one. So one up and one away. Troy says, yeah, I heard they remodeled it. They've got a turf field and a grandstand that goes from about first to third. It's kind of a neat little piece. It's really glad that they've done it. Poor Corktown over there that, obviously once they moved out of the area the Tigers did, there's not a whole lot there left. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura, who is absolutely on fire. He's 2 for 2 in a walk tonight. The first pitch he sees is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. He entered the game tonight hitting .455, and since then he's only pulled his average up to over 500. He's now 7 for 13 on the year. And there is a fastball that misses low, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch from the righty Kuniyoshi, and it is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now 3-0. So this is definitely what we remember seeing from this right-hander is inability to be consistent throwing strikes. He's a little bit of an adventure. There is a fastball delivered at 3-1 for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. So Kuniyoshi on the hill for the Marines here. There's a fastball that misses outside, and that is going to draw a 1-out walk for Nakamura. So he's aboard tonight for the 4th time and 4 plate appearances. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, or scheduled to bring up the third baseman, Freddie Galvis. As we mentioned last year, this big right-hander came over from the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. And last year he pitched in 25 games. He has 2-0 for the Marines. But as I said, something that stands out like a sore thumb, 25 innings pitched, 17 walks. That's way too many walks. So Freddie Galvis steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 3. He's got a sombrero tonight. He's struck out 3 times. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Galvis. Galvis waggles the bat with the open stance on the left side against the right-hander Kuniyoshi, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. I think that last pitch, as I watched the replay, looked like it may have been a ball down and in to Galvis. It could have been 2-0. But instead, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So here we go, back to work. Kuniyoshi holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. And you can tell by the body language of Freddie Galvis, he's not impressed with the call, and nor are we actually, because the catcher, Matsukawa, was set up on the outside part of the plate, and he had to come back inside. was a bad look for the pitcher. It might have been a strike, but the catcher sure didn't make it look like one. So here's the 1-2. There's a fastball that is swung on and it's cued off the end of the bat. A foul by Galvis, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We thank everybody for hanging in here with us tonight. We really appreciate it. This is not one of the quicker ball games we've had. We're at 2 hours and 46 minutes. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is scorched into right field. It's going to be trouble. That ball is cut off by Martin before it can get to the wall. He fires it in, and all the way to third is going to be Nakamura, but Freddie Galvis only got a single. I want to see that. I don't know if he stumbled out of the box or what he did or if he got held up, but one would have thought that Galvis would have been able to get all the way around to second on that one. We're getting a replay here. Maybe he stumbled going around the base, but an excellent job by Leonis Martin getting over to the foul line to cut the ball off, and then he turned glove side to fire it back in. Galvis has got himself a long single, his first hit of the night. And now the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have something brewing here with runners on the corners. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Seiji Ubiashi. Ubiashi tonight is 0 for 3. He's popped to short, he's grounded to second, and he is struck out. So Nash says no golden sombrero for Galvis. This is true. Troy says he's hoping that the Tigers can push for a playoff spot this year with the extra outs, and with the extra playoff spot. Galvis is now going to be pinch run for. He is coming out of the game. That is going to do his night. Hawks have a pinch runner for Galvis, and this is going to be Tomoki Takada. So Takada is now the runner at first, as Galvis is out of the ball game. There's one away here. Runners around the corners as Gracial was the first out of the inning. Ubiashi steps in with runners on the corners. Here comes the first pitch from Kuniyoshi, and it is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side of home plate. The count is quickly 0-1. There's one away here, fellas. Gucci Arari typed it into the chat. Runners are on the corners. Galvis, the runner at first. Nakamura, the runner at third. And here comes the 0-1 pitch to Ubiashi. It is a fastball swung on. It's weakly popped up behind home plate. It's going to reach the seats, and that's going to put the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Troy says, I really miss Mike Ilitch. He wasn't afraid to spend and just wanted to win. Well, I think one thing that you can point to that is a concern for the Ilitch family is the hole in the ground next to Ford Field called Little Caesars Arena. There was a lot of money put into that hockey rink, and they're not getting the full houses like they used to at the Joe Louis Arena, and the team is right now not very good. And there's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the third base side. And the count remains at 0-2. And so they took a lot of, I don't say heat, but they lost a lot of money over there. And as they lost a lot of money, or I shouldn't say lost a lot of money, they've got to recoup that money before they really start spending again. Plus, you've also got that Miguel Cabrera millstone that you're hanging on to for 2 more seasons. So those are a couple of things that are a little bit tight. So no balls and 2 strikes to Ubiashi, and there's the fastball delivered, and it's fouled away for again, and that's going to keep the count at no balls and 2 strikes. We do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Again, we'll be on the air again on the weekend. We're here in the top of the 8th inning. It's runners on the corners for the Hawks. There's one away, and it's 2 strikes to Seiji Ubiashi. So here we go. We got no balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Kuniyoshi gets the sign from his catcher Matsukawa, and he comes set, and now he steps off. You're going to have to go through the sequence of signs again. So the right-hander Kuniyoshi gets the sign from his catcher. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped slowly foul up the first baseline. That's going to again keep the count at 0-2 to Ubiashi. The Hawks are threatening here in their half of the 8th inning. It'll be Sato who has come into the game waiting his turn on deck. So no balls and 2 strikes still to Ubiashi. The game has slowed down a little bit. The reliever here, Kuniyoshi, has really slowed the game down. The tempo and the pace is grinding a bit to a halt here. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and this ball is hammered foul down the left field line. It's going to reach the seats. And that is going to keep the count again at 0-2. It's turning into a quality at bat here for the right fielder Ubiashi. That's going to be the 7th pitch coming up. Our friend Troy says, once the Red Wings start making the playoffs, hopefully they'll start spending for the Tigers. Yeah, you never know. The Wings are not that far away from being really good. And there is a breaking ball swung on. And it was a throw down to third. A very interesting play. So what happens is Ubiashi has struck out. The pinch runner has stolen second base. Instead of throwing down to second, the catcher, Takuya Kai, fires down to third, but they don't get the runner at third base as he goes back into the bag safely. And Ubiashi is retired for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, or the center fielder now, Naoki Sato. So there were some shenanigans with first and third with 2 strikes. And so the Hawks are poised to try to drive in a couple of runs to give them some insurance. They hold a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. There's 2 away with runners on second and third. And scheduled to bat is supposed to be Sato, but we're looking for a pinch hitter here. It looks like it is Taisi Makihara coming into the game. So Makihara coming in to pinch hit. And the first pitch to Makihara is a breaking ball that is called a strike. As they said, Makihara has swung. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to use defensively. So Makihara in the ball game here. So Makihara hitting from the left side. The count is 0-1. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it is tapped slowly at home plate, but it is just going to roll foul. And the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Alexander Leggett in the house here. Yeah, we appreciate you guys' support. We will make sure that we take care of you guys as well. So no balls and 2 strikes. The pinch hitter Makihara is in the hole here. The pitcher Kuniyoshi comes set at the belt, and we're ready to go again. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses well off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. More than anything, if you guys appreciate the stream, we could use your support. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and then it'll give you the updates of when we are on the line again, which will be a couple more times this weekend. As we said, we will set the game on Friday. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. There is a fastball down to Makihara, and the count now goes to 2-2. Yeah, the Tyler Austin stuff, I think, is what you're looking for. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't have anything for Japanese stuff. It's only I got some Major League stuff from 2017. So we'll have to take a look at that. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Kuniyoshi comes set at the belt. He checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on. It is lined past the diving Hechavarria. One run is in. Here comes the throw to the plate. And it is going to be in time. Did the catcher hang on to it? He did. But they are going to cash a run. So Nakamura is going to score. That's going to make the score 3-1. The pinch runner for Galvis is thrown out at the plate 7-2 for the third out of the inning. A single there by Makihara. He also drives in the run, and that is going to do it here in the eighth inning. So they do get a run on 2 hits to the Hawks. There were no errors and 1 runner left stranded, and we are now moving to the bottom of the eighth inning. It is going to be the Chiba Lotte Marines trailing the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks now 3-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Here is one of our other Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. It is a 3-1 ball game. We're moving to the bottom of the eighth. Stick around. We'll be right back in a minute after these tunes. We're glad you could be here with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. Yuki Samori is still in the ball game. This is going to be his second inning of work as he came on in replacing, or is going to be starting his second inning of work. He came on to replace Tomohisa Ozeki. Ozeki had an outstanding performance today on the mound. And Ozeki his final line was 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, a run earned, no walks, 5 Ks. He did allow the home run to Hechavarria. But also, too, he was nailed for a 1 balk at one point in time. They've got him for 1. I had him for 2, so I don't know what the other situation was unless there was an interference. And that might have moved him along. So here we go, back to the live action. And the first pitch to the catcher, Matsukawa, is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It's the 8-9 hitters in the Chiba lineup coming up to face Samori, and there is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. Matsukawa tonight is 0 for 2. He struck out and popped out his first 2 times to the plate. He is now 2 for 10 on the season. Samori kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we say, we do appreciate everybody who has jumped in on our stream tonight. Don't forget, we will be back again on the air on the weekend for a couple of ball games. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And definitely Takuya Kai wanted that pitch. He framed it there and was looking for the called third strike, but they did not get the call. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. And it is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is fielded neatly by the first baseman, and that is going to go down as a ground out to 3. There have been some changes in the lineup. So that change there, the positional player now in at first base is Tomoki Takada. As Takada came in to run for Nakamura. And he stays in the game to play the one bag. So Nakamura did his job tonight, reaching base 4 times. And now we've got stepping to the plate is Raito Ikeda. Ikeda, we said, is making his NPB debut tonight. He takes a fastball inside for ball 1. He officially is 0 for 2, but he's going to be a little disappointed because the first out that he hit to right field was caught by the right fielder Yanagamachi as he slammed into the wall. And the second one he hit to the warning track in left field. And so there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is a bit of a jam job. It's grounded to second. It's fielded neatly by Momori. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Ikeda on a ground out 4-3. So a bit of a tough night for Ikeda at the plate. 2 well-struck balls that don't count for anything, and then he gets a jam job on the ground ball, and that looks like it is going to be it as Fujimoto has come out of the dugout, and I think we're going to see ourselves a pitching change as Akito Takabe is coming to the plate. That is going to do it for Samori. He has done his job. So hang tight, everybody. We got a pitching change on our hands here. We'll get you that in just a moment when we return. We appreciate you guys being here, coming to check it out. Here is another one of our Did You Knows. We're going to throw it back over here to this guy. Welcome back, everybody. We have a new pitcher on the mound, and it is going to be a left-hander for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It is going to be Shinya Kiyama. He is going to be the 3rd pitcher of the game used tonight by the Hawks. And he is taking over for Yuki Samori, who came in relief and did a nice job going an inning and a 3rd. So the left-hander, number 57 in the game, Shinya Kiyama, taking over for Samori. So this game here has been another well-played ball game between the two teams. Only a couple of errors tonight, but really the errors haven't impacted this game drastically. The only offense for Chiba tonight has been the home run by Edney Hechavarria. The Hawks ground out a couple of runs in the 3rd inning with stringing. They had 3 hits and a sacrifice that got them a couple of runs. The other run came in the last inning, or in the top of the 8th inning, as the pinch runner Tomoki Takada scored on a base hit by the pinch hitter Takashi Makihara. And Makihara had the base hit, and unfortunately, that's how it kind of worked. So now that brings up the top of the order, Akito Takabe. He is batting tonight. He's 1 for 3. He's 4 for 21 on the season, hitting a .190. And so here comes the first pitch from Kiyama. That's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. Kiyama kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 2 away here in the Chiba 8th inning. They've got 4 outs left to try to come back on the Hawks. The Hawks are looking to get to the 6-0 mark. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Be interesting to see how the depth of these teams hold up once some of the injuries start taking place. One would think Fukuoka will be able to withstand it. But some of the other teams, I'm curious to see how their bodies hold up once injuries start to hit. That's always a bit of a challenge. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-2. I think of the Chiba or the Hiroshima Toyo Carp start losing arguably their best offensive player in Seiya Suzuki. Who would have expected them to be 5-0 to get things going? So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, unless you're a Carp fan, that would probably be who you would thought would be 5-0. There's a breaking ball delivered. It is swung on and missed, and Takabe is gone on strikes for the second time this evening. And Kayama comes in and does his job to get the final out of the inning. So for the Chiba Lotte Marines in their half of the 8th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We are moving to the top of the 9th inning. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 3, the Chiba Lotte Marines 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the 9th inning in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys could be here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to have another Chiba pitching change. It is going to be Shoma Sato coming into the game, a lefty. So Shoma Sato coming in relief. He will be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Marines, as he is taking over for Yuki Kuniyoshi. Kuniyoshi had a bit of a roller coaster 8th inning. He got the first hitter, Graciel, on the first pitch. He fed up to him, and then he walked the next guy, gave up a single, struck out a batter, gave up another single, but then had help from the defense to throw the runner out at the plate. So that is going to bring in a lefty here. It is going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order coming up for Fukuoka. That means it's going to be Takuya Kai, Masaki Momori, and Kenta Imamiya. So this game here, we're moving into the top of the 9th. And so it is getting into the deepest part of the water now for both of these teams. As I said at the top of the stream, my prediction tonight for this victory would have been Chiba. This was a night for Chiba to get a win. And the reason I said that is because of the 8th inning and 9th inning pitchers. Levon Moinello has been used the last 2 nights in relief, as has Mori, their closer. And I didn't expect to see either one of those tonight because usually early in the season, the managers won't use a bullpen arm 3 days running. So we'll see what happens here. So Kai, Momori, and Imiyama. So Kai steps up to the plate. Tonight he's officially 0 for 2. He struck out looking his first time up. He reached base on an error by the third baseman. And then he had a sacrifice bunt, so officially 0 for 2. And the first pitch for Kai is a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul past the third base coach's box. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The left-hander, Sato, ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. There is a breaking ball that loops just a bit outside. That pitch there floated up at about 63 miles an hour. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's another pitch that floats up. That's even slower. It got up to the plate at 61 miles an hour. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kai. That's about as close to an eephus pitch as we're going to see. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit into deep right field. Camping out underneath it, just in front of the warning track, is Leonis Martin, and he's going to make the catch. That is going to retire Takuya Kai for the first out here in the 9th inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Masaki Momori. So Momori tonight has a couple of hits to his name. He's also walked. He's now 8 for 22 on the season. He's got his average up to 364. He's got no homers and a couple RBIs. So left-hander versus the left-hander, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that floats up to the plate just a bit outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Momori. The left-hander is Sato, ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul on the third base side. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We appreciate everybody who has stopped in tonight to listen to the feed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game will be coming to an end shortly as we are in the 9th inning. One would think they are playing extra innings in the NPB this year. And there's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down. And the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The lefty Sato ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher Matsukawa. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And Momori has gone down on strikes for the first time tonight. That's the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. So Imamiya tonight is officially 0 for 2. He had sacrifice bunts his first 2 times up. He grounded to third, and he lined out to the right fielder his last time up. So here comes the first pitch to Imamiya, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. We'll say that tonight this game has got a much better pace than last night's game. Last night's game was approaching 4 hours. So here comes the 0-1 pitch, and there's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. The catcher, Matsukawa, didn't like the call as he left that ball out there. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball down, and that ball is blocked nicely by Matsukawa, and the count is 2-1. Alexander Leggett said this game was a slog. I remember a game last year we did with Fukuoka. It was, I believe, the debut of Richard Sunagawa. He had, I believe, a home run or a couple of home runs in that game. And the problem is it was like a 16-3 game, and it was over by the 3rd inning. And so your audience has just dropped off to nothing. And there's a fastball swung on to center by Imamiya. Racing back on it is the center fielder for the Marines, and it is Fukuda is going to make the catch. Check that. Wada makes the catch, and that is going to do it. So that is the 3rd out of the inning, and now we're going to the bottom of the 9th. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in their half of the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Here we go, everybody. The bottom of the 9th is coming up. We're going to find out who the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are going to trust to close it out when we return. Appreciate y'all being here. Break back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Kenneth Austin says he believes. Alexander Leggett says this game just feels longer, and he may be right about that. We have definitely seen last night was a long game, but it was an entertaining game in different ways. This game here has had some entertainment, but I think probably because the pitchers early on, their tempo and their pace was a little different than last night. The two starting pitchers last night, for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, Yoshi Wada, and for the Chiba Lotte Marines, Kazuya Ojima last night, as soon as the ball would touch their glove, it was like they were ready to deliver another pitch. They were working at some other type of gear. But now we have the entertainment. This is what we talked about. This is the closer tonight for the Hawks. It is going to be Katsuki Matayoshi. Matayoshi is not the regular closer, as I mentioned at the top of the stream. This would be what concerns me. No Moinello and no Mori tonight, as they pitched on both back-to-back days. So one would anticipate that this is where we're going to see somebody who doesn't normally close games get an opportunity. And we're going to see how this is about to shape up. And it is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for Chiba. That means Leonis Martin, Shogo Nakamura, and Brandon Laird. So they're all going to get their opportunity to face this young righty. I say young righty because he's 22 years old. He turns 23 in November. So Matayoshi is going to be entrusted to close this out against some veteran bats. And the first thing you got to look for is Chiba getting a base runner aboard. And then you've got some guys who can do some damage in the batting order, following with the lumber behind. So here we go. We're all ready to go. Leonis Martin tonight has had hits his last 2 times up. He's 2 for 3 tonight. He's got his first 2 hits of the year. We saw Matayoshi pitch earlier, and Martin squares to bunt, and it is taken for a called strike as he pulled back. Matayoshi, what's unique about him is when he comes into the set position, as he does it, it's like his foot comes off the ground. And this is not when there's runners on base. This is when there's nobody on base. And the foot that comes off the ground is the right foot, which is his pivot or his push foot. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Martin. He's got a little bit of a quirky delivery. After the game is finished, we'll come back and we will do a response for everybody here, a quick response. And in doing that, we'll be able to give everybody some updates and information of what's coming up next, and we'll do a little recap on this one. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There is a fastball swung on. It's popped up right at home plate. The catcher, Takuya Kai, is backing up. He's going to make the grab. That is going to retire Martin for the first out here in the 9th inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Shogo Nakamura. For Nakamura tonight, he is 0 for 3. He's grounded into a double play. He's flown to right and flown to left. Gucci Rari says it'll be Bullets. It'll be in the Bullets live stream. I'm not sure. Probably somebody's looking for something. So 5 for 21. So here comes the pitch. That's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. Aussie basketball. Yeah, I'm not sure. They just come out all over the place. I don't know. I can't do anything for Aussie basketball for anybody. Here we go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole. That is what Chiba needed, is they need a base runner. And Nakamura is aboard with a 1-out single, and that's going to bring Brandon Laird to the plate. So as I said, this is where everybody should be getting nervous, because the young right-hander's now got to face some veteran bats. Laird steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struggled so far this season to get things going. But Nakamura, the captain, keeps it alive here with a base hit. Runner on first, 1 away. And now Brandon Laird comes to the dish. If there was ever a moment for Chiba and their fans, this is one of those moments that Brandon Laird was made for. One swing of the bat will tie the ball game. So Laird digs in, right-hander against the right-hander. And here comes the pitch from Matayoshi. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is 1-0. The center fielder, Wada, it's his turn on deck. I wonder if they're going to bring out some heavier lumber than Wada in the event that Laird is going to find a way on here. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here comes the pitch to Laird. He takes a fastball on the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. That pitch was a pretty good-looking pitch. And that ball just caught the corner. Laird wasn't happy with it, but on replay and review, it did look pretty good to us. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Laird ready to go back to battle. And here is a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is now 2-1. Matt's cheering for the double play, obviously looking for the win. This is definitely a double play candidate. Brandon Laird does not run particularly well at all anymore. I'm not sure that he ever ran particularly well. But certainly now at this point in his career, that is not his strength. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is Graciel. He's looking up, and he's going to have room and make the grab. And that is going to retire Laird. Laird did his part, but he just missed it. He just got it down a little bit on the barrel of the bat. And he is retired for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to Wada. But we're going to see if they're going to bring in some lumber for Wada because he's not one of the power guys. But he did his job. He made it important. He went back and took a look at his bat where he got it. Sometimes you see that with hitters. They'll take a look at their bat to see where the ball was struck. It was definitely further down the bat. And Takuya Kai has gone out to have a word with his right-hander as we have 2 away now here in the 9th inning. And we are going to get ourselves a pinch hitter. This is going to be Tsuyoshi Sagano. As we mentioned, Wada was going to be pinch hit for. So Tsuyoshi Sagano stepping in as the pinch hitter against the right-hander Matayoshi. So here we go back to the live action. 1 swing of the bat can still tie the ball game. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Sagano digs himself in, and we're ready to go back to work as Matayoshi gets the sign from his catcher, Kai. He waits on the signals. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses on the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. The crowd here is cautiously optimistic as we are in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 away. Didn't change the banner. Apologize to those people who do count on our banner to let you know if it's the top or the bottom. There's a fastball swung on it. It is tap foul over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Marines are down to their final strike, and they're down to their final out. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the pinch hunter, Sagano. Matayoshi ready to go back to work. Sagano at the plate, digs himself in. Matayoshi holds at the belt. He's ready to deliver. And there's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is hit into left field, and it's going to be a base hit. It's going to be fielded by the left fielder, Graciel. And so just like that, they keep the inning alive as Sagano has himself a single. That advances Nakamura to second. Now the tying run is at first, and the go-ahead run is coming to the plate. And it's supposed to be Koki Fukuda. So are we going to see ourselves a walk-off home run? Now we've got some serious entertainment on our hands here. As I said, this is where the games can be won or lost. It's not the regular closer in the game. It is Koki Fukuda who's coming to the plate. He is 2 for 3 this season. He came into the ball game to replace Oka in the middle of the at-bat. Oka had 1 ball and no strikes, and then Fukuda came in when they made the pitching change. Fukuda flew out to left field his last time up. So here we go. We're right here into the clutch of the game. And the first pitch to Fukuda is a fastball swung on. It's tapped slowly over to the first base side, but the home plate umpire has called time because it had fouled it off his foot. We're going to get a chance to look at this one here. That was a long swing. I don't know. I took a look at that again, and the home plate umpire called a foul ball, but that sure didn't look like it hit his foot. So 1 strike to Fukuda, not a reviewable call. So here we go. No balls and 1 strike. There's 2 away here in the 9th inning. The fingernails are being chewed off by everybody. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Alexander says he really had the beat on this one. This is where it gets entertaining when you get into the deep water. The 3rd run was really the difference maker. If it was still a 2-1 ball game, I would still be, even to the final strike here, I'd be in the favor of Chiba. But that 3rd run, that run that was scored back in the top of the 8th inning, could be the difference maker. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The fans in the stands are holding up the scarves for Fukuda. Looks like he has some lovely ladies that are supporting him here. Here's the 2 ball and 1 strike pitch to Fukuda. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. So Matayoshi here is trying to close it off, but he's got 3 balls and 1 strike to Fukuda, and it's Edney Hechavarria who's waiting his turn on deck. We do have a pinch runner for Sagano at first. We'll have to get the number on that in a minute. It looks like it's Yudai Fujioka. It's number 4. I'm pretty sure that's Fujioka off the top of my memory. So he is running at first. It is a 3 ball and 1 strike count. Probably a good decision because he is the tying run. They're hoping they can get to Hechavarria on deck. 3 balls and 1 strike here. Fukuda digs in. The right-hander Matayoshi ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and that was a long swing. The batter Fukuda for the 2nd time in this bat has fouled the pitch off himself, but this one here, he got good and proper. He hit that pitch right off his kneecap. Holy geez, that's going to hurt. If you've ever fouled a pitch off, I'm going to tell you right now, that hurts like a son of a gun. The trainer is out, but he's kind of waving him away. If anybody has ever fouled the ball off their leg or off their foot when they come around, it hurts like you wouldn't believe. In fact, I think if it was, I want to say it was Howie Kendrick a number of years ago who, when he was with the Angels, fouled a pitch off and broke his leg. Not sure if anybody can hear me, but we really appreciate you guys checking in on our stream tonight. We have lost our stream, and unfortunately, that is going to be it for tonight. Hopefully, everybody can make it in on the weekend. We appreciate it again. Thanks again for Last Wraps Baseball and your support of our channel. Thanks again, guys.